Please just let me know once my screen comes up. Can you see my screen now?
No, sir, it's still blank.
Can someone please confirm that my screen is up?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Yes,
up
sir.
now. It's up now.
It's up now.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. All right, so once again, I welcome you to Ivy League Associates. Thank you for joining the meeting. This meeting is about our open day for this new diet, January, March, and June exam classes. I am so happy to join you and welcome you to this great meeting. We will be going through. It's actually packed, and we have a limited time to go through this. We will be talking about Ivy League. We'll also be going through the ACCA qualifications. We'll be looking at the ACCA qualifications as well. We will also, please, I want to be sure, am I still audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Very well. Very well.
Am I still audible, please? Can somebody confirm that you can hear me?
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
well. You're audible, sir.
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you, but I guess you might want to check
Thank you.
your internet.
So we will be talking through Please confirm I'm better now. Apologies, I had to change internet source. Confirm that you can hear me now, please.
Yes, we can.
Good
Oh,
morning.
thanks so
Yes, I
very
can
much.
hear you.
Thanks so much. Oh, thanks so very much. So like I said, it's actually a lot packed for this meeting. We limited time. We'll be taking us through. We'll be discussing about Ivy League. You want to hear how we started, what we've been able to achieve, and probably where we want to go as an organization. Then we'll also be looking at the ACCA qualifications. You need to understand what you are going into. We'll be talking briefly as well about the Oxford Brookes BSc. But I also want to let you know that by 8th of next month, we'll be having an open day for the Oxford Brookes BSc program where you have in-depth understanding. We have a team of seasoned professional people with over 1.5 decades of leading organizations. We'll be taking you through this, and we'll also be looking at the standalone qualification in ACCA, which is a diploma in IFRS, and then we may be able to take some questions before 10. If you are not able to take some questions before 10 o'clock, we'll appreciate that you note and then put down your question till we get to item 9, which is the final question and answer session. We'll have seasoned professionals, leaders of industries that will be coming to grace the panel session. This panel session is one part of this meeting that we don't want any one of us to miss. We will not want you to miss this panel session. Just hold a minute for me. I want to be sure my video is up. I want to be sure my video is up. Apologies. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much. Then, like I said, so we have a lot of seasoned professionals that are coming to talk to us. Then you will also be hearing from our students who, in time past have experienced Ivy League. They want to share their experience. They want to share how they prepare. What has helped them to achieve the success they've achieved. We'll bring in award-winning ACCA students that are Ivy League alumni and presently taking classes with us. And we'll also be taking you through looking at approach to learning at Ivy League. We have a blended learning approach. When it gets to that time, I want you to pay rapt attention so that you get the best out of this meeting. Then lastly, we will be looking at question and answer. Please put your questions down. We'll be looking at that. Thank you. So Ivy League Associates. Ivy League Associates is the leading ACCA tuition center in Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. That is not by our own conclusion, but is a conclusion we reached by ACCA standards and ACCA statistics. Ivy League Associates has a wealth of experienced tutors who if we combine it, has over 600 hours of lectures. Over 600 hours of lectures individually, if we put it together. Some of our tutors have been doing this for the past 15 years, some more, some just below 10 years. But these tutors are seasoned professionals. We thrive on our passion to drive excellence in the business world as a whole through learning services. Please, I just want to be sure again that you can hear me, that I'm audible.
Loud and clear.
So that I will not be talking to myself alone.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, so I believe we've trained over 10,000 students over the years, over the period of about 13 years now and running. We've trained over 10,000 students who are leaders in their chosen field. In fact, luckily for us today, we've decided to bring some of these students, some who have done greatly in the field. Some have risen to the level of their CFOs, some are directors in big organizations, and then every aspect of business that they've worked. Yeah, so we take pride in that. We're so happy that we've been able to impact in that aspect. I believe we are also a tuition center that does not sleep on our achievement. We always, at every point in time, go back to see how we can best improve our service. One good example is the era of the pandemic in year 2020. COVID-19 did not inform. Somebody need to be on mute, please. Please kindly mute so that we can. Yeah, that sound is distracting.
Is it
I'll wait for you to mute. Okay, I think we are good to go. So, like I was saying, so we look at. Please confirm that you can still see my screen and I'm still audible. All right, thank you very much. So in the year 2020, COVID did not inform anyone before it came, and we have to midway into the diet, we had to everybody had to go home. There was a lockdown. Students cannot come into class again, and we have already committed to teaching our students. So one of the things we were able to do that we take pride in is the fact that we did not lose any minute of lectures. The lockdown started, I think, on the 29th of March, if I'm not mistaken. Then the next Sunday, weekend, we were able to hold our class. And we are still the first that was able, to adjust the teaching methodology to suit the online classes. We all know the shortfalls of online classes. Please pardon me. Please pardon me. It's unfortunate. Okay, so we were able to change change with time. We evolved with present demands and present need of international learning standards. We're proud to talk about that. That is about Ivy League. We've achieved. Please bear with me one minute, please. is this person calling me? Just let me check if my this thing is showing. Please.
Hi, manager. Can you unmute? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Good morning, sir.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here while you continue. Okay, so don't worry about your screen.
Oh, thanks so very much. That's helpful. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Thank you very much, sir. That's helpful.
Okay, so I think you want to talk about the SCA qualification. We can go ahead, please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Apologies for the glitch. So you can help me move to the next slide, sir. So basically, the ACCA qualification is, we talk about the 3 E's, and one of those 3 E's in the ACCA is examination. So the ACCA qualification is actually structured in a way that is open to everybody, irrespective of your qualification. That is why it is in levels. We have the knowledge level, then we have the skill level and the professional level. But before these 3 major levels, I said earlier on that you can actually start irrespective of your qualification, whether you don't even if you don't have O level, but that is, just need to write 2 qualifying papers that qualifies you to start from the qualification. That is pre-qualification exams. So qualification is divided into 3, like I said: knowledge, skill, and professional. That knowledge level is where you write, you are required to write 3 papers, and this is actually designed for students without finance or accounting background. So maybe you study botany or medicine, Yoruba engineering, whatever course you studied in the university that is not finance or accounting related. You will be starting from that skill level where you are expected to write just 3 papers, and then once you write these 3 papers, you move to the next level where you're expected to write 6 papers, which is called the skill level. For those with finance and accounting background, this is where you start. Just that accounting graduates, we only write 5 out of the 6 papers. Then you move to once you're done with that, you move to the next level, which is professional level, where you are required to write 4 papers out of the 6 papers at that level. That level is actually designed in a way to make you a better accountant, not just an accountant not just a chartered accountant that does the IFRS of this world and the likes, but you also in a position, you'll be able to be a decision maker, this strategic decision maker in any organization. That's how beautiful this qualification is. You don't just be a chartered accountant, you be a problem solver. Yeah. So can you help me? So in this qualification as well, before I talk about it, the next slide, one good thing with ACCA is that ACCA is in partnership with some universities and qualification awarding bodies, where if you, for example, finish your skill level, at the end of your skill level, if you want, you can actually get a PSc in applied accounting from Oxford Brookes University. We know that this is going to be ending by next year, but ACC is seriously working on partnering with some other universities across the globe to continue to give its students this benefit. And you can also, at the end of your professional level paper, you can also get a MSc from London Metropolitan University if you so desire. So, sir, next slide, sir. Thank you. One of the things that we take pride in at Ivy League is the fact that we have history of picking students at a very young age and helping them to qualify and be chartered accountants even before they get to their 21 or their 20s. So this is a story about a young man, David, who finished secondary school I guess around the age of 17, and the parents just felt, okay, you will be going to university, but we want you to take ACCA, and then this, so he joined us and then started his journey from his knowledge level, skill level, and by the time he was 19, he was already done. And then to just add a little bit of jam on the bread for him is within that period, he was also able to take advantage of the Oxford Brookes University degree. And by 19, he had already had a BSc in accounting from Oxford Brookes, and he was already a chartered accountant with ACCA. So we take pride in this, which tells you that you can actually start this program, and within the period of 2 years, you should be able to complete. However, it varies with individual, but one good thing is it is possible if you're dedicated, if you're dedicated to your study, it is very, very possible for you to finish within 2 years. So if you have young ones just coming out of university, we're also going to an era where we are also going to an era where we have a lot of students who be finishing secondary school before 18, and the policy now is that you must be 18 before you go to university. Ivy League is, we are available to help with the students. We are available to do that for the students. The student can register with us, follow the path of David, join our classes. We have a tailored program for such students, which is our weekday program. They can join us while they wait to go to university. By the time they are going into university, one thing I can assure you is that they'll be a better student in the university, having experienced ACC and having go through, the quality tuition that tuition and support that Ivy League Associates give to a student. So if you have any question, please you can drop it on the chat box there, so that we can take your question. If you have any question, please kindly drop it on the chat there. You can move to the next slide, sir. Thank you, sir. So one of the required skill as HCA chartered member is that ACCA takes so much pride because the brand ACCA is a very, very big brand that is known for its professionalism and ethics. So you cannot pass through the ACCA route without becoming a better professional, and also, being so grounded when it comes to ethics. So for this ACCA, I actually have an ethic and professional skill module that you as a student, you are expected to finish. This is very, very important for your membership. It is very, very important. It's part of what you need. Just like you go to university, write all your exam, you are still going to do something that is called project, right? So this is more or less like the project, if you want to put it in comparison. So you are expected to do the ethic and professional module. I think it's something that will just take about 15 hours. I think it's priced at £75 for now. It's a one-time payment. So if you do the module the first time and you were not able, if you do the module first time and you were not able to, to scale it, you are free to do it again. It's just a one-time payment where you'll be able to, demonstrate and apply ethics and professionalism anywhere you work in the real sense of it. We live in an environment, in a world where a lot of things are happening. It is this ethics and professional module knowledge and skill that helps you to stand out, even in a situation where things are not, not normal. You stand out and you stand tall. You understand? So this it actually offers you the full spectrum of professional and digital skill that is needed in everyday business. Because as an accountant, you are not just going to be doing the debit credit. That is not what is expected from a chartered accountant. A whole lot is expected from you. You understand? So this ethics and professional module helps you. And we also advise that try as much as possible to do these ethics and professional modules before you write your professional papers, because it's going to help you a lot in making your professional papers easy for you to pass. You understand? So we will encourage that you do this ethics and professional module. But if you need any support outside this meeting that we have today, if you check our YouTube page, we have some videos that that can help you that we've done, and then also on ACCA platform, the admin is always open and available to support you every step of the way, whether through your ACCA qualification, whether through your ethics and professional module. That takes me to the next slide, which is the PER. Okay. So what is this PER about? This PER is very, very important in you becoming a member of ACCA. It doesn't matter if you scored 95 across your 13 papers or your 9 papers or your 4 papers, as the case may be. It doesn't matter. That ethic and professional module we spoke about, and practical experience required, which is the PER, is very, very key in you becoming a member. When you finish your ACCA, you are just going to be an affiliate. There's a 36-month work experience, practical experience that is required. And this is not, mandatory that it has to be in the Big Four, in an audit firm. It will even be in the church. You working as an accountant in your church, helping to manage your church books. You understand? So helping to manage your church books. It could be a small business, but you are functioning as as a finance person for this organization. So you will record those experience across the period of 36 months, which is 3 years. Then you will have a supervisor. This supervisor may not necessarily be an ACCA member. It could be an ICANN member. It could be an ICW member, as long as it's a member of an IFAC recognized or IFAC certified accountant. So that will be the person who will sign it off for you. You understand? So sometimes, and this PER is not post-qualification. It could be before qualification, it could be pre-qualification, during qualification, or post-qualification. So for instance, I've already worked for 5 years, 10 years in finance departments as a finance person, and I felt the need to take ACCA. Now I took ACCA. Do I need to wait and start recording my my PER, my experience from after I finished my ACCA? It is a no. You can register, you can start recording from before you qualified. I've had a lot of students who qualified after the result came out. A month after the result came out, they become a member because they already had that done. So while you are writing your exam, start recording your PER it's on your student portal. Once you sign into your student portal, you see the PR form, you're able to download, and then you get someone to sign off for you. While you work, you may have a supervisor who is not an IFAC member. You still need to get someone who is an IFAC member to vet your qualification, your experience that you have recorded. So, like I said earlier, if you have need any help and you need someone to guide you, the admin is always available to help in this aspect as well. Can we move to the next slide, sir? Okay, we will be talking about other related qualification. ACCA has more than one qualification. ACCA has more than one qualification. Apart from the ACCA qualification that make you become a chartered certified accountant, there is also other qualification like diploma in IFRS, OPU. So I want to believe, Mr. Muhyiddin, are you on this call?
Yes, manager, I'm here.
Thank you very much for your time. I'll be handing over to Mr. Muhyiddin to quickly run us through the OPU. Like I said earlier, we are having our open day on the 8th of February, where you have in-depth, knowledge of what the OPU is all about. But Mr. Muhyiddin, over to you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thanks, manager. Thanks also to the management team on the board. I know I've seen Shay, that he just is the one, showing this. So good morning, Shay, and good morning, every other person on the call. So I'll just quickly run you through some salient things about OPU, which is Oxford Brookes University, degree that is associated with ACCA for you to earn a BSc degree. So for instance, someone who had gotten a degree outside accounting scope and feel we still would like to have a qualification that speak to accounting, so can take this opportunity on that journey to have this degree. Some of the things I'll be talking about I have a number of things like who is the OBU program meant for. So it's actually meant for the ACCA students. And that's a collaboration that the university had with ACCA. So what qualification will be awarded? All right. So at the successful completion of the RAP is called the Research and Analysis Project, which will be undertaken by the interested students. A BSc Applied Accounting will be awarded. And then how can this be obtained? So you have to satisfy the requirements of OBU by first completing the first 9 papers in the applied knowledge and applied skills level. The manager has taken you through those levels. And then you also have to complete the ACCA ethics and professional skills module. And he also has spoken to that. And then lastly is that you must pass the research and analysis project, which is the RAP. And this extends to a requirement in addition to that, which is the skills and learning statement. So which will speak to your experience in the journey when you are writing that project, your engagement with your mentor, and some other things you've seen that have changed your way of, your perception in, maybe also in, in the office, your job and the rest of it, and all the knowledge or skills you have gained, while you are coming up with that project. So you will be required to make all these statements, all right, which of course would be your personal, experience. And that also will be what? will be graded. All right. So you could pass the RAP and if you fail the SLS, you still haven't scaled through. So you must pass both. All right. So that also is important. Then how is the degree graded? All right. The way it's done is that the average mark you have obtained in the 6 papers at your applied skill levels. So remember I said you have to first pass the 9 papers, which is inclusive of the knowledge, 3 papers there, and 6 papers at the skills level. But the thing is that those 3 in the knowledge will not be part of the grading. All right. But only the 6 in the 6 skills will be part of your grading. And what are you expected to achieve to earn a class of degree, which will be from first class, second class upper, second class lower, and third class. Those are the available ones. At least you must have a minimum of 50 marks, an average. And that is where the third class, starts from. Okay. So, and that, goes up to the higher scores. And then what do you have to do in combination? All right. Apart from you getting these 50 marks, you also have to pass the RAP, like I have said. And that also is graded in the, either you have a A, you have A, or you have B, or you have C. All right. So that is where you pass it. So for someone who fails, of course, it will be F. All right. But if you pass it, it's either you have a B, your A, or you have B or C. So depending on which you have, combined with your average mark, is what will determine what your class of degree will be. All right. I know at the open day for OBU, a lot will be mentioned about this, but just to sensitize you about it. So I have to mention that. Then what is expected of interested students to get started? What do you have to do? So you have to choose a topic from the 15 available topics as provided by OBU, and you get guidance from a mentor. All right. Of course, we run that here. So if you are interested, you have an agreement with the admin, and then you'll be allocated, a mentor. Now, what role, all right, does a mentor play? This is where it's important for whoever is interested for very solid preparedness for this program, so that you need to know the limit of your mentor and what you need to do. As a mentor, the mentor will just guide you through the RAP process in accordance to the provisions of OBU, and the mentor is not expected to write the project for you. So which means that you will be the one writing your project. So you have to prepare yourself for that. How often is the program carried out in a year? It's usually twice in a year. It comes up for May session and for November session. But the thing is, there's an arrangement, and I know that manager also has spoken to that the partnership arrangement with this OBU, it will be ending next year, May. So which means you only have 3 sessions from now. So May session this year, November session this year, and May session next year, to end this degree. So where will I get the full details about this program? More details beyond what I have said that will guide you better, all right, and on how you can achieve this. It is the OBU information pack, which will be made available to you as soon as you register with us. This will be provided, and you are expected. So this is just going to be like your Bible as a Christian or a Quran as a Muslim. You have to read and digest and understand, the nitty-gritty and everything you need to understand as regards this, that guide you better to achieve, a success in the paper, or in that program. Yeah. So these are the things that are very, very germane, very important as regards every other details that I've not mentioned on the open day, which is slated for 8th of February 2025. You will get full details about OBU as soon as you show your interest, to come on board with us. Thank you so much, so that I won't take your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muidini. That was insightful. Thank you. Okay, can we? Okay, we want to talk about diploma in IFRS. Mr. Chinedu, please, if you are on the call, can you unmute and take us through for the next few minutes?
Yeah, thanks, Olumide, and good morning, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So good morning, everyone, once again. I'll be speaking on diploma in IFRS. It's actually a program that is designed to fast track your knowledge on understanding what International Financial Reporting Standards is all about. You know that if you're taking ACCA, for example, before you get the full grasp of what IFRS is all about, you would have perhaps completed both the skills level and the professional level. Now, what diploma in IFRS does is that it helps you, fast track your knowledge on what International Financial Reporting Standard is all about without necessarily going through each step of completing the ACCA qualification. And the good thing is that it is designed for everybody, but whether you're already a professional, or if you're not a professional, you can take diploma in IFRS. For example, professional accountants with ICANN qualifications can take diploma in IFRS without necessarily going through the ACCA journey. Even those with ACCA qualifications, what we've seen is that perhaps they would have qualified in the past, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and they need a brush up on what is happening in International Financial Reporting Standards, and of course keep up with current developments. So they also come back and register for this program and run it again. So based on that, we've seen finance leaders, we've seen CFOs coming back to say they want to take diploma in IFRS, and these are people who have already in the past completed either ICANN or ACCA qualification. Auditors and even tax consultants that have to do with financial statements, in most cases, they need IFRS knowledge to be able to understand the numbers. So they also come to say, I want to take diploma in IFRS so that I would have, comprehensive knowledge of what IFRS is all about. Even other finance professionals as well. So the program is designed for everyone, basically. So you don't necessarily need to have qualified, whether you have qualified in the past, or maybe you're still undergoing the ACCA journey, or maybe you're not interested in getting ACCA qualification, but you want to have good understanding of what IFRS is all about. Diploma in IFRS is designed for you. And the program is designed in such a way that it is practical based in the sense that you would, by the time you complete it, you would have had very good understanding of what conceptual framework is all about. You would have also have good understanding of all the relevant IFRS accounting standards. And the good thing we have also seen in the, recently, is that they have included sustainability reporting, which we know is the order of the day. So, IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, is really all encompassing. It includes IFRS accounting standards issued by ISB, and it also includes sustainability reporting standard issued by ISSB. So this sustainability reporting have now been included in diploma in the syllabus of diploma in IFRS. So by the time you complete it, you're actually getting full knowledge of the standards issued by ISB, and of course standards issued by ISSB, which speaks to sustainability reporting. And then of course you also get to learn how to prepare group financial statements. Though what the diploma in IFRS does is it tries to simplify it in such a way that you don't necessarily need to have advanced knowledge of IFRS, but you would have basic knowledge and the good the foundation you need to be able to commence your journey in IFRS. It's a one-off exam, so it's not an exam that is designed to have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. No, so it's just one-off exam that you will write, a 3-hour exam. It is computer-based, and you just pay a one-off initial registration fee of £30. Here in Ivy League, we'll provide you with all the documents you need if you register with us. We also have our videos, recorded videos, and we also have our past questions and a lot of resources, pool of resources available. Our tutors for diploma in IFRS are professionals that are well experienced over the years in IFRS and IFRS areas, both a classroom experience, teaching experience, and then of course professional experience out there. So because we're also professionals in the field, so we are ready and fully equipped to take you through the journey. In the past, the success stories have really been interesting. Like I said, is a classroom that have a combination of professionals that have probably qualified in the past. So we've had CFOs in our class. We've had finance leaders in various sectors in our class coming back to refresh themselves. So if you are the kind of person that is thinking, what is IFRS all about? How can I just get full understanding of IFRS within the shortest possible time without necessarily going through a long route of the ACCA journey? Or perhaps you have gotten ACCA qualification in the past, but you just need to refresh yourself. I promise you, diploma in IFRS is for you, and we're waiting for you to register with us so that we can take you through that journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Chinedu. That's very, very insightful. Thank you. We next on our agenda is a guest session. We have a guest speaker that will.
Questions.
Okay, yeah, because of the time, I was like, okay, so can we entertain about 2 questions? If you have any questions before we bring in a guest speaker, can you just raise your hand, and we are going to be picking in order of hand raise. So please, if you have any question, okay. Mr. Emmanuel, please, let's have your question, quick and precise, please. Thank you. Emmanuel, it's possible you are speaking, or your mic is muted.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please
Good morning,
go ahead.
sir. Okay,
Good
so
morning.
I just want to confirm in respect to the OBU diploma and also the IFR. Okay, the IFR is one time. Okay, the OBU, how long does it take and how much does it cost? And for the IFRS, the £36, are we to pay in Naira or we pay in the currency, like in the we pay £36 like the currency, or are we paying in Naira? So I just want to get an understanding of that.
Okay, so quick one to your 2 questions. Diploma in IFRS, you will be paying in Naira to the ACCA Nigeria Naira account. It is any bank account. And for the duration of the OBU, submission is twice every year, May and November, which means February we're going to start mentoring, and by May you will be submitting. So it's almost 4 months. However, what we advise students is this: if you know you are going to take the OBU route, please start your preparation earlier before the mentoring, so that by the time you start mentoring, you already have your data, organization you are going to talk about, and or you are going to use, and all those things, so that you won't take you'll be able to submit. But mentoring is from February to May, and for November submission from August to November. Please, Please kindly mute your mic, please. Thank you. You can lower your hand, Mr. Emmanuel. Ayola Adejumo, please go ahead. Okay. Abolaji, can you please unmute and speak?
Can you hear me, please?
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, so my question is about the diploma in IFR. So I
Okay,
want
ma'am.
to know what's the cost of the class for diploma in IFR. Then I saw 21 pounds when the I was talking about it. That 31 pounds, is it just for registering or for the exam? Then as an SSA student, do I need to pay that registration fee if that amount is for registration only?
All right. Thank you very much. The 36 pounds is to register with ACCA, but if you have an existing registration as an ACCA student, you only need to send an email to ACCA to convert your existing registration to diploma in IFRS. You cannot have two registration with ACCA, irrespective of the qualification you're writing at ACCA. You only write to them to convert it from one to another. Then our tuition for diploma in IFRS is a token of 70,000 naira for the classes. Exam fee is 135 pounds. Thank you. One more question, then we take the other questions later in the course of the meeting. Abolaji, please go ahead.
Okay, please confirm that you can hear me.
I can hear you, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for the insightful session. I was hoping that your presentation would kind of cover like the career opportunities that are bound for getting an ACCA qualification, especially for people without an economics or accounting background. So I guess specifically my question is, I'd like to know like what are the career opportunities available for a lawyer with ACCA qualifications, especially in jurisdictions outside Nigeria and UK.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, like we know this question is going to pop up. These are one of the things that are seasoned professionals that we're bringing into the guest session, the panel session will be handling. So in the panel section, this question will definitely be answered. Just a snippet. ACCA qualification, in my opinion, personally speaking, is what I call Obonishi in my native language, which means it solves all problems, right? Growing up, I used to think if you study economics, you work everywhere in the world, every sector of life. Unknown to me that maybe I was wrong. Maybe that then when I joined the ACCA family, and I realized that ACCA is one qualification that puts you everywhere. And because of ACCA is accepted in over 189 countries, which means you are employable outside Nigeria, outside UK, in almost every country of the world. But this will be in-depthly touched when we get to the guest session. Thank you, Abolaji. That is all we can take for now. We will be moving to our guest session now. Like I said, we have a guest speaker who will be speaking to us today. We have a guest speaker who will be speaking to us today. He's a seasoned professional. He's a trainer. He's someone who has touched many lives in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I have Mr. I would like to call him Professor Keye Oduneye. Professor Keye Oduneye is a trainer, like I said, and is also, a founder of some organizations in the UK. So Professor Keye, if you are on the call, can you please unmute the mic so that we can meet you?
Hello, my brother. How are you, Professor?
I'm very
I
well.
didn't pay for
Thank
the
you.
I didn't pay for doctorate, so don't get me in trouble. I didn't pay for that, so I beg. Let me respect
It's good
myself.
to have you, sir.
It's good to be here, my good sir. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm an hour behind you, so that's what I was about to say if you're in the afternoon and the morning. Please, how much time do I have, my good sir? Time check. Is it 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Oh, your mic is down. I just want to do a quick time check.
Okay, so we'll appreciate 10 minutes and take 5 minutes to take questions, if that's fine.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
good morning, everybody. My name is Kayo Tanea, and yes, I'm based in the UK. I was born in Ikeja, Unity Hospital to be more exact. I grew up in Ikeja, then schooled in Abeokuta, Baptist Boys High School. And then after university, I relocated. Why am I here, and why do I think I can drop in any ideas or anything? Sorry, my good sir, can you mute your mic? Thank you, my brother. And my journey as an individual was very much based on one key thing. My mother was a chartered accountant. And watching my mother grow up, she worked with NMPC, worked in Oklahoma State Polytechnic, a mixed background. But watching her grow up shaped my career. It gave me a key insight on where I'm going, what I do, and how I can achieve it. Now that I have 10 minutes, I will do a quick introduction and make this a bite size. Now, the whole aim of the session today was very much to talk to you about how you can take what you have on your certificate when you finish all the hard work, because ACCA is, no disrespect, is not easy. And I give that respect. When you qualify, when you finish it, it's a gift on its own. But what makes you stand out from everybody else, no disrespect, is not just that certificate. It's the extra you bring to the table. I was going to go through this detailed session, this detailed workshop, of course, introduce myself. I have over 20 years experience in training and communication. I've been fortunate enough to work for companies like Google, Burberry, a long list, as you can see on the screen. And even with Google, I've done a lot of training in Nigeria on its own, in Nigeria, in Ghana, and across a few other African countries. And here and there, I've worked with the different states on some certain projects. Now, what I'm here to speak to all of you about today, let me run through this. I'll talk to you about London Ed at the end of the session, is trying to get all of you to understand that the moment you finish your qualifications, and all of you across different sectors, all of you want different things, the first most important rule all of you need to focus on is what I have on the screen here, networking. I have a lot of clients who have the great qualifications, who've then finished things to achieve them. But part of what limits people to achieve their key goals is not having the right connections or the right networks. A lot of you are very smart. There was a lady who got on the call and asked the question that she has a legal background, and then what next when she does ACCA? Honestly, you literally are in a gold mine with that two combo. Because the moment you mix that with corporate law, you're opening up a market that would make things change at a whole new level. Now, what I'm looking to touch on today, and I'll make it a bit more of a bite size, is the role of interpersonal skills within your career, within your next step, and within your growth. Is for a lot of us, my question tends to be based around that. What relationships are you building as you're moving on to this next chapter? For a lot of us, what tends to happen is that we get the certificates, we deal with the networks, but how are you selling yourself? What is it you're telling people you want to do with your certificate? And as you can tell, on this call, I believe we're over 150 people on the call. I think maybe just a bit more than that. So if you think of it, that 150 people and a lot more have that amazing qualification called ACCA, the question then becomes, what else are you bringing to the table? Or let me use it the Niger way. What is your packaging? Because for a lot of the clients I work with and even the companies I go into, your packaging, your branding, your interpersonal skills, your transferable skills are the different things that help you become worthy for people to connect with. We look at things and we say, beyond ACCA, what do we then look at? There are different things we talk about, which is how do you specialize? What areas are you looking to become the best within? The best way to grow is find a niche. Other bit, network. You need that word network. If it's never been explained to you, let me say it in a unique way. Contact people like there's no tomorrow. But when you're contacting people, don't make this mistake. Don't go to people begging for opportunities. Go to people leveraging your experience and your skill set. Because too many people and too many colleagues of mine, even here in the UK, that we either both work with different clients, the key thing they say about a lot of people is they show on their CVs or they show on their LinkedIn pages, and I'll touch on that they have the ACCA qualifications, and it's great. But their communication skills with the people they want the opportunities for is zero. The selling skills of their packaging or of what else they bring to the table is zero. So what happens is you have the great qualification, but yet you don't have the ability to sell it, to make people want to give you the opportunity. As it's been mentioned on the call earlier, and as my brothers started off with, which is the gift of ACCA is that you fit whatever countries. I think apart from America, I think you fit close to 100. Is it 130 or 150 countries worldwide? So the global reach is way beyond you can imagine. And the global reach, it pleases not just in Europe. You also have a lot more organizations across Africa that will create opportunities. Don't forget, you're Nigerian. And when you're Nigerian, you come with an extra package. Hard work, passion, creativity. We glow, we flourish everywhere in the world we work in. But it's all back to how are you creating a continuous opportunity to learn and add value to your package. I live by this quote. And one of the key things with the quote is they say people will forget what you said. So let me say people might acknowledge you have a certificate. People will forget what you did. People might forget where you've come from. But people would never forget the way you make them feel, which means the way you connect with me would determine if I'm going to give you an opportunity. There's enough experience that you get from the panel of people who would say the people have got the opportunities, they've got to the interview, and it's just one or two things they said wrong that made them miss the opportunity. How are you packaging yourself? What is your message? If I looked at you as a brand, what do you represent and how do I see you? Key thing I push a lot for is the investment in human capital development. And that goes beyond just the gift that we call that is ACCA. I'm going to use this to jump straight into branding. And when I say personal branding, it's about starting to understand if I looked at you as a student, as a qualified person, as an individual with a certificate, at different stages in your life, what is your value? I'm not asking you if you're a good or a great person. I'm saying if I ask you this question, I want all of you to think of this question before your next opportunity. And this is the question everyone hears at some stage in your life. Why do you think you're the best person for the job? And what that question is saying is, why do you think I should give you an opportunity? What the question is saying is, why do I think you deserve this opportunity? And what that then tells you is that for you to be at that interview, you're at that interview with at least 10 other amazingly talented ACCA qualified individuals, and even with more experience. And what you start to learn within time is that sometimes it's the personal approach you bring to it that creates that way in which people accept or connect with you. Sorry, I would have loved to make it a bit more detailed, a bit more richer, and I've already shared my slides, but I had to make it a bit of a bite size because of timing. Now, I want to come straight into this brand. And the reason why I've come into brand is a lot of us need to start to see ourselves like the logos we see over here. The logos I tend to try and make this interactive, but the logos we see over here are every single last one of you in the call right now. Some of you are Nike, some of you are Google, some of you name it. But the reason why we remember these logos is because they have done some work to make themselves stand out. The question I ask you, What are you doing to make yourself stand out? While you're doing your ACCA, and now that you've finished, for some of you that's finished it, how are you branding yourself? It's not just about saying I have a CV, it's about saying what is out there. Now, I share this a lot with people to make them understand that with brands do not just sell you products. So, which is your ACCA or you as an individual is the sheet of paper, the amazing certificate that carries weight. But what else do you bring to the table? A brand like Nike sells motivation. So, which means when you see a Nike product, you're not going to go buy the product. You're buying motivation, which shows you are beyond the product. A lot of you use iPhones, and iPhones promote creativity. Porsche, which is a pretty famous car, not as old school Nigerians will know this a lot, but it really captures what you call status, class. And then we have what we call Coca-Cola, and all of us grew up with Coca-Cola. Who know no Coke? But the thing about growing up Coca-Cola makes you understand this. Coke would never tell you, come and buy my drink. Coke tells you happiness, dreams, fantasies. Now, the question I'm asking everyone in this room while we're on this call is this. If I looked at you, if I looked at your CV, if I looked at your LinkedIn, if I read the email you send me or the call you want to make to me, what emotion are you going to sell to me for me to give you an opportunity after this next level? Oh, and of course, me over here, may I sell hope? People say inspiration, but I generally sell hope. So I'm going to quickly touch on a few tips and tricks you can then work with. And the tips and tricks are things I tend to advise people, which is I ask you, and I'll show you with the next slide after this, where you can have your qualification, then take your life experience. And when we say life experience, my brother mentioned a very good point earlier, where he said, if you needed to get experience, you could even get the experience in church. Because what we need, when people ask for experience, it's how you package it. So for some of you, you say, I don't have a job, there's no one that's going to give me opportunity. Look at your communities. Go into your churches, go into your mosques, look for a way in which you can make your qualification come alive and get the experience. Because when you get it, then it's easy to then package it. So this is what I tend to ask people to start with. And I'll show you a quick analogy as we're doing. My good sir, how am I doing with time? Can everyone still hear me? Sound check.
Yes,
Yes, we
okay.
can.
Okay.
You have about 5 minutes more.
Oh, don't do that to me. I've just started to enjoy myself. Okay, 5 minutes. Let's go with it. So what I'm trying to get all of us to start to see is this. I want you to let me go one step further. I'll come back to this to make it easier. Okay. Has everyone seen this before? This is called a SWOT. It's basic. It's very basic because we tend to use them on projects. If you haven't seen it, please go online and see if you can download a template like this. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to the equation for all of us in this room is this. You have your CVs, you have your qualifications. For you to create yourself as a brand or bring added value, I tend to ask you to use this tool. Now, what the SWOT does for you is that it gives you a clear picture of what are the qualifications, what are the skills I have, what is my experience that helps me stand out. Now, the other thing it brings to the table is that it then talks to you about what are my weaknesses. And when you think of your weaknesses, think of them as in what do my competition have that I don't have? When you understand your weaknesses, it makes it easy for you to package what you're selling. What are the threats? But most importantly, what are the opportunities out there in the sector? The moment you can take your whole career and divide it into 4 like this, your career that's been started, which could be your school, your education, your work experience, even work you've done with working like as a kid. I did some work with my grandma in the shop in Ijebode. When I got to the UK, I packaged it in my CV. It helped me get my first retail job. What I'm in a sense trying to tell you is that all of the experience you have, no matter how little, when you can translate and transfer it, it helps you with what was saying you for you to develop your packaging. It helps you to be able to develop the way in which people can see and perceive you. And one of the cheapest and best tools out there, I tell a lot of people, and I say I use this with C-suite executives, I use this with general workshops. Do a SWOT for yourself. Check about it online and see how you can then use that to then be able to package your own story and your own journey. So the first thing I tend to ask people is this: start with your purpose, which is, now that I have this qualification, what is the next job I want to get? How do I get the job? What is it that people need to get the job? Work your way backwards, which is look for different jobs, look at the expectations, and use the job description to tailor your packaging for it. Second thing, tell your journey, which means tell your story. I just told you my first job in the UK was working within retail in a department store called CNA. They've left business now. But how I got the experience was because I said back home in Nigeria, I did some customer services in a supermarket in a town in Ogun State, which means working for my grandma in a shop, in family shop in Ijebode. But how I packaged it gave me enough information and experience to present it in front of people. How you package these things are important. Other thing is this: look for things that make you unique. In school, I used to do debates during my secondary school time across Ogun State. I used to debate, I used to do mime, I used to do poetry. I understood its communication. It's paying me lots of money now. I transferred that skill. What skills do you have? How can you add it to what you have to bring extra value? The other thing is, what makes you relatable? And the key thing about that is don't limit it by where you are. Understand it by what you have. Very, very important. I tell people this a lot. You cannot sell what you don't have, and people cannot promote what they don't know. Let me explain that. If you don't know yourself, how do you want someone else to buy you? How do you want someone else to give you an opportunity? And what I've mentioned with the SWOT as well as with the tools, it makes you understand yourself. So the confidence or the way in which you carry yourself changes because you've done homework and you know how to sell what people want to buy. Incorporate emotion. People always connect from emotion. I said I had a talk yesterday, and one of the things I made clear to a lot of people is this: we are not emotional creatures. Our reactions is what projects emotion, which means if right now the gentleman on the call tells me, "My brother, time is over," and I go, "Ah," I didn't go, "Ah," for no reason. He said something, and that triggered my emotion. The moment you understand that, it gives you the ability to control, or let me rephrase that, to manage your emotions, to help you be able to connect in difficult situations, mostly in interviews, mostly in networking, and even mostly when you start to get rejections. Because the more rejections you might get on this process, it's how you manage the relationships to give you opportunities. I know I'm running out of time. I'll just really tidy up some final points. The other thing you also need to understand is your brand. You are your story. You are your ambassador. How are you packaging it? Very important, very key to this. Then, of course, the bigger picture is you cannot plan your next step unless you see what you want to achieve. So if you're saying, like the lady that asked the question earlier, which is, I have a law degree, I have ACCA, what kind of things it can give me? Research people that have both. See what earning abilities they have or capacity they have. Then plan your blueprint with that in mind. These key things come in hand when you're going through this process in trying to understand it. I'll drop in some basic takeaways and I'll please open the mic for a few questions if that's okay. And the takeaways is this: interpersonal skills is not a maybe. Let me even make it a bit clearer. On YouTube, there was a stat that came out that almost 80, I'm just quickly checking my stat board. Do forgive me. Okay. So almost 94% of employers give opportunities to candidates with soft skills. I don't like that word soft skills. I call it essential skills because that's the human connection skills. Almost 87 accountants agree that data analysis is critical to future growth, which is all these different aspects when it comes to this, which is your soft skills helps you connect. Having you with your skills as ACCA and the other attributes you bring to it, it is relevant to so many businesses. There's a growing niche where you even have something for startups, something for NGOs. How are you adapting your skills and how you make it flexible to connect? You need to have a personable and personal brand for people to see you and give you room for a flexible career. Invest in yourself. Spend the time, get the experience. It might not always be high profile, but it's how you package it that makes the difference. So, what I simple call to actions: reflect on your career goals. What is your career? What do you want to achieve? Identify actions you would take today to invest in yourself, very important. And a few of the points have been mentioned earlier. Then also network with your peers. There's a mention that was said earlier, which is getting a mentor. Get a mentor that has done it before. But most important, I beg you, with mentors, I beg you, be proactive. Don't expect your mentor to do everything. Do your homework, ask questions, and see how you can be useful for your mentor. If you're useful for them, they find ways to think beyond your own limitations. I know the journey might seem hard. I know it might seem lonely, but one of the key things to it is when you understand yourself, it becomes easier for people to be able to sell and understand you. I would explain, I've sent this as a handout to my colleague. And one of the things I've shared, just gives a quick hint with this, is part of the company I started in the UK is called London Smart Ed. And that deals with a lot of training and development across different countries and companies. And this is something we have, which is we call, they're all CPD accredited courses, and they are tailored pathways. So the reason why we created things like this is that before people make big career decisions, before you invest big money, we started to create different pathways that gives you a holistic learning. So which means if I want to go into this sector, what do I need to know? Then rather than just getting specialist experience within that sector, we package other things with it. So it gives you a holistic journey to be able to package the whole thing together. I know I've said a lot. I know I've jumped over my time. As I said earlier, and I'll echo it again, my name is Tayo Dene. I'm sorry we didn't have as much time as I'd love to get detailed in it. I hope I've spoken to one or two people at least to make you understand that you're not on the wrong track. You just need to package yourself for people to see what is relevant to them. My last statement, a very common thing we all know about, which is this: two for the price of one. If you've heard that statement before, companies like that. Companies even prefer three or four or five for the price of one. What am I saying? If you want a job, what extra things are you bringing to the company? Not just your experience. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor. Thank you for your time. Sorry I rushed it. I just wanted to keep within time. But please, if you have any questions, the name is Kayo today. Good morning. And that is me. How you doing, my good sir?
Thank you very much. So it is not an error to call him a professor. Thank you so much for the time spent.
I appreciate
We
it.
definitely going to bring you back someday in a more, where you have so much time to give us so much of your wealth of knowledge. Thanks so very much. So the mic is open for everyone who want to ask a question. Can you, unmute your mic and then let's take one or two questions. Ayokomi, please, can you unmute? If the question is related to
Okay, good morning, Kay. Good morning,
Good
the
morning.
Ivy League team. I raised up my hand much earlier, so thankfully, Kay actually spoke about some of those things that were of a concern to me. And top of it, in Ivy League, all the sessions all the courses that I've taken, we had strictly online. We did them strictly online. So in light of the presentation of the I'm talking about the networking and the magical effect of networking on career. So
Yes.
I want to ask what Ivy League is doing or plans to do so that candidates and students have opportunity to network. It's very, very heartwarming to hear from Chinedu that some of the participants from the
the program he was coordinating were very high profile. So what is the plan of Ivy League to ensure that students explore opportunity to network?
All right, I will speak to that, or I will take that later. I want to welcome questions for Mr. Keye that relates to what he has spoken with us about. So I've noted your question, Mr. Ayokomi, and then I'll speak to that. I'll give you a response to it. So
Manager, you're muted. Manager, you're muted.
oh, apologies. Okay. So Nkechi, let's take your question, Nkechi. Mr. Ayokomi, I'll respond to yours.
Good morning, Mr. Keye. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. I think my question is really not on what Mr. Keye discussed. It has to do with this practical experience required. And maybe I would leave the question till when we are on number 9.
Something like that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's noted. Okay, please, if your question is not related to what Mr. Keye have discussed with us, and you are on top of the people that raise their hands, can you just please put your hands down so that we only take people who wants to ask Mr. Keye some questions? So Toyi, please unmute and speak to us.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I want to ask Mr. Keye, thank you very much for your time, that what do you say about age? Is age a barrier in the gate opportunities?
Mark, sir, I want to see what
Okay.
is here.
Yeah, I can hear
you.
you.
Please
My
unmute.
sister, mute your mic.
Please.
The friend is not needed.
My makeup box is inside. And
Ujoma, take away your makeup box.
Please let me unmute. Don't go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, sorry, my brother. Sorry about that. Do you just want to finish it? Age. What is the other aspect you're adding to age? I didn't get the final.
He joined ACCA at the time. I actually studied post science at the beginning. I read post science education. So I come to ACCA later, much later. And I feel that, sometimes because of age, there sometimes you have the entry age to each profession. I don't know, maybe after you got to ACCA, could it be a barrier for opportunities?
Okay. Let me answer the question from this angle, because you're gonna get the pros to really give you a better touch on that. Age is not really a barrier. Here's the reason why I'm saying that. If you notice when I talked, I said one very important thing: packaging. If age, let me look at age from two angles. There's age if it's from the fear of being older, and there's age from the fear of being too young. The middle ground of everything is this: what is in it for the person you're packaging things for? Because if it's older, how are you packaging your experience to make it relevant? If it's younger, what key skills that you feel the older generation or the other people don't have? So age per se is never really an issue. The issue with my experience, and trust me, my brother, I have catered to a lot of clients, a growing market in the Middle East, clients here in the UK, as well as even in Nigeria, is if you do not package yourself relevant to what you're looking for, that's where the problem lies, not really age, if you don't mind me saying. I'll repeat the question to the panel and see what they say. But for a lot of people and a lot of businesses I work for and people I consult for, it's people have not done their homework to package themselves to fit what we're looking for. But if you don't mind me saying, I don't think age would be a problem. I think it's how you package yourself, because they only meet you after they see the packaging. What are you packaging yourself as? And that's my take on it, my brother.
Thank you so very much. We'll only be able to take one more questions. Please send your questions to us. We will forward to Mr. Keye. We'll get a response from him, and then we will share on our announcement page. I will take Emmanuel, then I will take Emmanuel, after which I will invite Mr. Sheyi to say help or thank and appreciate Mr. Keye for coming. Like I said, Mr. Keye, we still want to see you around. That was packed. We'll be reaching out. Thank you very much, sir. So Emmanuel, please quickly unmute and ask your question. Let's keep it short and concise.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Keye. Thank you so much for this. And I just quickly want please help me buttress that fact that I said most employers prefer you being a 2-in-1 or 4-in-1. I want you to buttress that. So yes.
Okay, I like that. Thank you. So here's the thing I try to remind a lot of people. Employers are not robots. Employers are people like us. They're just in the position. Let's remember that. And if me and you would like to go to a supermarket or even the market, and someone says, if you, for the price of one, you can get this, and this, or you can just get one thing for one thing. 90%, I would even say 100% of people in this room will go for what they can use one and get four and buy that. Let me explain that into employment world. An employer likes diversity of experience. An employer likes when you bring more than what they expect to the table. Because what starts to happen is that it opens up more opportunities for you. And in relationship to this is this. You've got your qualifications. What other skills do you have by the side of it? Even if it's volunteering, even if it's something you do for fun, add it to your packaging because it gives you extra. You have the qualifications, are you a good communicator? Bring that to the table. You have that, you do a lot of community work, bring that to the table. Because sometimes when it gets to some levels, the people aspects of a lot of our jobs, we tend to forget that that's important. It's not just about auditing the sheets of paper, or it's not just about dealing with the finances, but it's also about dealing with the people management. Jobs are not as hard. The people aspect of it is what makes it complicated. Mr. Emmanuel, if anything, I'll make that a quick summary of it. But I think what I'm in a sense saying is that now that you've got a qualification, bring other things to the table so it gives you more opportunity of value. That's a bite-sized summary of it, if that's okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Sorry,
Keye.
I'm taking a lot of
It's
time.
good to have you. I'll hand over the microphone to Mr. Sheyi to do a special
thanks, manager. Thank you very much, Keye. This is very helpful. I think life and career coaches always have a way of bringing different perspectives to conversations that cuts across various careers. And we really do appreciate your time today. And, as manager said, probably we'll have a conversation on how we can have this kind of session, because I think it's very helpful for, career starters in finance, and even those are at the forefront of their career already. So thanks very much. We do appreciate your time, and do have a lovely weekend. Yeah.
Thank you. Stay blessed, everybody. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Bye. So at this point, we will move on to our panel session. And, it's very interesting that just comes in after, Kaya's presentation, which also looks at the point around what next after ACCA. So just by way of introduction, my name is Sheyi Oshibolu. I'm a director at Ivy League Associates, and I am also a consultant. I work with one of the large accounting firms globally. And I've been in accounting and finance for over 15 years. And at this point, I also would like to introduce my panelists, and then we can take our Q&A after that. Please, I know you guys have a lot of questions to ask. And we have definitely not taken all the questions. Some of the questions relate to the presentations we had before Kaya came in. We will take all questions, at the end of, this open day. So please still take note of your questions. And if you have access to the chat area, you can also type out your question and put it there. But at the end of my session with the panel, I would also be able to take a few questions that you guys may have for members of the panel. So the first person on my list is Jami Olakison. Jami Olakison is the assurance leader for West Cluster, which contains the West African region at EY. And, that's a major service line within the firm. I don't know if Jami is around. Can we have you?
Okay, thank you, Shay. I'm actually on the line.
Oh, okay, great,
So I
great
put
to
on
hear.
my video, but just to let you know, because I'm in transit, my
Okay,
video may not be on all through. So
okay.
when I start talking to avoid any network issue, I may put off my video.
That's
I'm in
absolutely fine.
transit.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Yeah. We also have Tutu Oludare. Tutu Oludare is the CFO at Optimus Bank. And she is also gladly Tutu at Ivy League and a very good friend as well. Tutu, are you here?
Yes, I am, Shay. Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Nice to
All
have
right.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
And finally, I have Priye Angaye. Priye is a very good friend as well. Priye is a director and I think former CFO as well, but probably now operating at the board level at Century Group, which is an oil and gas and energy infrastructure diversified group, indigenous entity within Nigeria. Priye, are you here?
I am, Shay. Good morning, everyone. And it's good to be on this call today. Thank you, Shay.
All right. Thank you, Priya. And nice to have everyone around. Okay, so as always, it's always the burden is on me to decide who takes the first question. But I'm so excited to have you guys around. And I know that we will have a very insightful conversation. Um, I know these questions could be quite broad, but I will please beg that you try to keep your responses to 3 minutes so that we can take as much questions as we are able to do. Priya, I'm going to start with you because I know you very well. I know you've been, a finance leader for many years. Um, I was fortunate enough to be your tutor when you were doing your ACCA exams. And so one of the things that came to my mind when, I was told to moderate this session was, why did Prayer decide to, pursue the ACCA qualification? When probably at that time you were already a CFO, you were already a senior finance leader in your career. What was the motivation for you?
Thank you very much, Shay. And to everyone listening, I am proud to say I'm an alumnus of the Ivy League Associates. Shay was my lecturer. Tutu also on the call was my lecturer. I think Muhyiddin, who spoke earlier, was also my lecturer. And of course, Jamu. I think I met Jamu at the airport very recently in Abuja. Just as Shay has said, I had gotten to a senior level position in finance, but I felt very much incomplete, if I would use that word. There was the need for continuous learning. It's always been a thing about me that whenever I notice there's a gap, that I would always strive to fill that gap. I would want to be a bit more practical so that you can relate. Yes, I was a senior finance manager, and it got to certain places where I think in course of an audit, certain discussions were ongoing on the IFRSs and the application justification for a particular treatment of an item. And I realized that I was a bit rusty The arguments from the other parties, seemed very intelligent. And to use a slang or a word that everybody will relate with, I seemed to be old school. And then I realized it was time for me to do some bit of additional learning. And to be honest with you, that was a basis for my return to the classroom. So it was about continuous development, enhancing my expertise. And then why did I choose ACCA? The fact that it's a credible and recognized certification was also something of interest. I had done my first degree, I had done my master's, I had done my PhD, but I still felt incomplete because I hadn't gotten that professional qualification. And it was a reason why I had to come back to the classroom. And to be honest with you, with the ACCA, you have networking opportunities. I know that ever since I became a member, I've been receiving emails from very renowned, accountants across the globe. And then if I have questions, I, easily approach them and I get, clarification. So it's indeed an interesting thing to be of the ACCA family. And these are some of the things that, motivated me, and career growth, obviously. Ever since I got my ACCA, my career has moved from one level to the other. Just as Shay did mention, I used to be a CFO, but within split seconds, I was found worthy to become a director, and I think these are interesting, reasons why I went back to the classroom and why I think an ACCA qualification is ideal. Thank you, Shay.
Thanks, Priya. Continuous learning is indeed important. Thank you for sharing your story in that area. I must apologize. There is one more person I was meant to invite as well. Tommy Sibo is the head of ACCA in Nigeria, but I understand that due to unforeseen circumstances, is not able to make today's meeting, but is ably represented here by Etisong from ACCA Nigeria office as well. Etisong, are you around? Okay, while we try to sort that out, I will move on to Jamil. So Jamil, interestingly, used to be my boss, and obviously is also a tutor at Ivy League and one of our founding directors. And is someone that inspires a lot. So I think I want to ask a question, that relates to what is he really looking out for when he's looking for talent? He leads a very large team, at EY, for example. And so I wanted to know, what do you look out for when recruiting finance talent, across the various assurance services, for example, that is being provided?
Okay, thank you very much, Shay, and good morning, everyone, once again. Before I respond to your question, let me quickly highlight two things. One is the fact that when it comes to recruitment, we recruit at two different levels. One, we recruit at the level that we refer to as graduate trainee level. That is those people who are not expected to have any experience, and maybe you just finished serving and you are coming into the firm. Then secondly, when it comes to recruiting people, different service lines, we don't necessarily insist that you need to have read accounting or finance related courses. So regardless of what you've read, all the big four firms, we bring you into the firm. Eventually, when you come in, depending on the unit or the service line where you find yourself, you may have to write ICANN or ACCA or any other relevant professional examination. Having said that, there are quite a number of things that we look out for when we are recruiting people at the two levels that I've mentioned. And I will briefly highlight a few of them. The first one is analytical skill. Your ability to analyze complex data and derive meaningful insights is one of those things that we look out for, especially when you are working in audit or maybe you are working the consulting arm of the business. I would like participants to take note of each of these important skills that I'm highlighting. The second one is communication skills. This is very important. Oral communication, the ability to make communication in writing that is acceptable, free of grammatical errors. This is very important. For example, if you're aspiring to be promoted to certain level, they want to listen to you, they want to hear your presentation. So you need to convince people within the firm before you go out to convince outsiders. And the way we work in the firm, you interact with people outside. You need to sell what you are selling, and you need to talk to people. You need to make presentation to them. You need to convince them. When you work for them, you will find some findings. You need to actually present this to them. So your communication matters a lot. And let me also add something that many people may overlook. Regardless of whether you want to remain working in Nigeria, you want to work outside the country, your ability to use appropriate assets matters a lot. I'm sure someone like Sheyi, who has left Nigeria, working outside Nigeria, will tell you that our accent matters a lot. So if you are able to pay attention to or find a place to learn more about that now is something that I believe is very important for you. Teamwork and collaboration is another important one. When you work in a firm, you are not going to work alone. You are going to work with people. And your ability to work collaboratively with the people as a member of the team matters a lot. Problem solving is very important. As consultants, as auditors, we solve problems for clients. And your ability to identify problems and solve them is one of those things that we watch out for. Technical proficiency. For example, depending on where you find yourself, maybe you are working in audit, your knowledge of IFRS in financial and strategic business reporting, your knowledge of AA and AAA matter a lot. And sometimes many people don't know that when it comes to classroom and real life, there is a thin line between the two. So if you are well grounded in what you've acquired while in the classroom, it will go a long way to help you when you come to practice. Attention to detail. For example, if you are an auditor, you can't be a good auditor without having attention to details. They give you something, you go through it, you're unable to spot error. No, that is not going to be allowed of somebody who wants to be a good auditor. So paying attention to detail is very, very important. Project management is key. When you join the firm at the entry level, your ability to manage projects might not be an issue because you are just a member of the team. But as you grow older, as you become manager, you are going to manage the engagement on yourself. And as such, your ability to manage that engagement very well and deliver on time is very, very important. And lastly, I will just talk about leadership potential. As you grow in the firm, you are going to become a leader. Even when you are managing engagement, you are going to have a lot of people working with you. And you need to demonstrate that you are a leader and you are able to manage people very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jamil. I think you gave us a full textbook there of of the skills, you know, that you look out for, especially, you know, when working with the big firms. And I actually took notes. So for anybody who missed one thing or the other, ability to work within teams, analytical skills, problem-solving skills, you know, communications, clear communication, technical proficiency, attention to detail, project management, and leadership potentials. And I think this video would also be made available on our YouTube page, so you can always go back and check that. I tell you, nothing on that list is less important. He has really well articulated it. All right, now I move to Tutu. So I'm switching from practice to the industry now. Tutu, you are a CFO in a major financial institution in Nigeria. And, a lot of people in finance aspire to be a CFO one day. What do you really do? And how is that role changing based on what you're seeing in the environment right now and the future of finance?
All right, thank you, Shay, and thanks to everyone on the call. Thanks to Ivy League for this opportunity. It's a privilege to be talking to my tutors, talking together with them on the call. Shay and Jamie were my tutors. And Jamie was also, he audited me, was the audit engagement partner in one of the institutions I had worked in before I became a CFO. Yeah, the role of CFO is a very, very important role in the organization. I like to say that we're strategics, people, we're stewards, we're catalysts, and we're operators. They don't sound like they are. How can you be a strategic person and then be a steward and then be an operator? But really, that's the work of a CFO. Where we do strategic advisory. So the executive management and the board of the organization, they want to get an idea as to the performance of the institution and where we are going. So you constantly have to be abreast of the strategic direction of the organization. So you're advising the board, you're advising management. You want both of them to be, again, you don't want executive management to be aware and board is not aware. If you're not careful, you then create that parity. So you want to know what is suited and what management should be aware of. And you don't want to get to the board and surprise your management. So you are a strategic advisor. I say that we're also business partners. So the role of finance is really changing. Maybe someone will have expected that I would say that we do financial reporting, financial planning. Those are things that are, they are not the least of the work we do, but they are no longer as priority as they used to be. So every institution, whether it's a financial institution or whether it's FMCG or whatever it is that you do, you have business units who also want insight into their performance. So the role of finance have moved from churning numbers to advising them on how they can grow their businesses. So you want to, one very important skill that a finance person needs for the future is data analytics. So you want to be able to predict and be an effective business partner, looking at data and telling them the opportunities that they have in like the mind that they are sitting on. So you don't just want to be analyzing what has happened in the past alone. You want to use the past experience to predict the future. So you are leveraging data. You are being an effective business partner when they want to think about launching new products, going into new line of business, they think about you first because you are the one that would help them use historical data to predict and tell them what they should look out for, businesses that they should expand into or things that they shouldn't do because of capital restrictions. So imagine your role. The role of a finance person is very, very broad. Again, we do financial planning, budgeting, cash flow management, cash flow analysis, just trying to ensure that the financial health of the organization is important to us. We look at in a 5-year horizon, what can we do based on what we have done? So we use past performance to predict future trend and then to tell whether we need to go for merger and acquisition, maybe we need to expand, all those strategic decisions, the seats with the CFO. Again, of course, we do financial reporting. There are IFRS standards. I remember when I took up the role of the CFO, I personally joined the Ivy League diploma in IFRS. I just wanted a refresher. I wasn't too sure of what to do. I'd never done the role before, so I felt the safe place to start from was to quickly do a refresher and ensure that my mind was refreshed with IFRS standard. And I took that course again, and it was very good because it brought back to memory everything I needed to know, and it helped me to kickstart that journey. So our role as reporting, we do financial analysis. Again, if you work in the financial services sector, there are a lot of stakeholders. CBN is interested, FRS is interested, local tax regulators are interested, Basel. So there's so much that you need to keep abreast of. You are the regulatory calendar monitor, you are the risk manager. I think ACCA offers you that blended role or blended opportunity to be able to effectively work as a CFO. And then your journey. So the lady that asked the question, when I started my ACCA journey, I had a friend that was a lawyer. We worked together in Guarantee Trust Bank then. We did ACCA together. Today, she works in the company secretariat unit of still in Guarantee Trust Bank Funny. And the leverage that she has, the experience that ACCA and being a lawyer has given to her is enormous. She has grown significantly. You know, when she speaks, you can see balance in what she's saying. She's talking from the view of a professional finance person that has legal experience, and she's well sought after. So you are on this call, you have chosen the right path, and you really can transition into the two. So the role of CFO is broad, is big, is what you call what manager describes is everything. You are a sheshewa person. You know, when they say you do everything for the organization, and you are a very important stakeholder. So interpersonal skills and all are also important for you in delivering the role. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tutu. And, one thing that stood out for me was the fact that things we typically think are key CFO roles like financial reporting, overseeing financial reporting, financial planning, and all of that are now business as usual. You have to be a bit more strategic and helping with key decisions, that the board is trying to make. So thanks for that. And at this point, I think I will circle back to Jamil, because I remember when I was starting my career, I had two options, whether to join a bank or to join a big four firm. And, almost everyone I sought advice from at that time was saying, oh, better to start in practice, grow from there. And then if you want to leave practice and move to the industry, you can always do that and things like that. So I know there are many people here who are probably thinking, okay, I should get into a big four and stuff like that to enhance my skill, which is one of the options anyway. So just as a personal question, Jamil, why do you think working in a big firm is rewarding? And you've been in this journey for many years and you are at the leadership position. So what do you think are the things that excite you and has kept you to stay, I must say, in this role up till now?
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, thank you all. Let me just say before I highlight some of those important things that could make somebody to want to be in a big four firm. When I started my career, I started in the banking sector, but I felt I wasn't getting the fulfillment required. I felt I was only doing less than 5% of what I know and I was capable of doing. So I decided to change. And the first opportunity that came my way was here, after I've spent about 1 year, 7 months in the banking sector. My plan originally was to stay there for like 3 months. 3 years. After that, I will move. But eventually, I found what I was doing very challenging and interesting. And before I realized, I eventually became a partner there. So some of those things that I saw that made me to stay are those things that I will highlight briefly. The first one is career development. Big four firms generally, they offer structural training programs, mentorship, and professional development opportunities, which will enable you to grow your skills. In fact, you have so many things. You can become what you want to become while working in a big four firm. So the career advancement is massive there. Another important one is diverse experience. Even when you work in a particular unit, say audit, you are not likely to audit one client. So the more you audit different clients, the more exposure you get. And more importantly, you have the opportunity of moving around. For example, in my firm, we've got 4 service lines. We have assurance. Within assurance, we have audit, financial accounting advisory services, climate change and sustainability services, forensic and integrity services, and a technology assurance that people refer to as IT audit. You have tasks, they do different things there. You have consulting, quite a number of things, including emerging technologies, the AI implementation for clients. You have strategy and transactions. They deal with strategy, they deal with corporate finance, and a whole number of things there. So your opportunity to move around, your opportunity to get quite a number of experience that you may not be able to get within one organization is one of the benefits of working in a big four firm. Networking opportunity. I know this was touched on by the previous speaker when he was making presentation to us. But the fact that you work with clients, different client means, aside from building relationship with people that you work together in the firm, you are able to build relationship with those clients that you work with. And all this will go a long way to really help you. Global exposure. I have benefited from having this global exposure, a number of people, Africa, Europe, America. So working in a big four firm gives you that privilege of being exposed to what is happening outside your jurisdiction. Even when you don't travel to those jurisdictions, you're able to have regular meeting with those people. And I recall when IFRS 9 came in 2014, starting from 2016, we were having weekly updates on that. And we got exposed to so many things, including Shay here, those things that ordinarily we would not have been able to get if we were not working in this type of environment. Prestige and reputation. Sometimes you want to leave and you want to go and work elsewhere. And they look at where have you worked before. So the fact that they see before firm on your CV will really go a long way to really help you. But before I close, let me put it on record that sometimes you may try to get into a big four firm, you are not getting that opportunity. Sometimes people make mistake, they want to remain where they are. Aside from big four firms, there are other large firms that are international firms as well. You can join them, you can acquire experience with them. Eventually, when the big four are looking for those who have experience, because I remember I mentioned the other time that aside from recruiting graduate trainees, we also recruit experienced people. And when we are looking for experienced people, we are looking for those people who are working with those medium-sized firms. So if you try to enter any of the big four and you are not getting it, don't limit yourself. Enter any of those medium-sized firms. The experience you are going to acquire there will be beneficial to you and can land you a big four opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Shea, your mic is muted. Your mic is muted.
Sorry. Thanks, Jamil. Very useful tips there and also advice as well. Thanks for your insights on that. Let me go to prayer. And I'm very conscious of time as well. So please, if you have questions, I will select 3 people randomly. Just raise your hand. Please keep it to questions you have for the panelists, okay, for the panel members. And any other question related to, previous presentation or subsequent one, we'll take them later on. But if you have any question for anybody on this panel, please, just raise your hand. So Priya, I know you touched on this a bit, but maybe you may want to shed more light on it. ACCA qualification specifically, how would you say it has impacted your career?
Thank you once again, Mr. Shea. I did speak on a number of issues that I thought motivated me into getting into the ACCA program. But generally, I would say that the ACCA has impacted on my career, career advancement. It has been swift. I have been able to move from one position to the other. And the interesting bit is, just as Tutu and Jami have emphasized, the qualities that you pick in course of the program makes you a strategic partner in the business. So when it comes to business growth in my organization,
Hi, Priya. I think we might have lost you. Hello? Okay, so while it tries to fix the connection issues, I think I will just go to Tutu and then we can come back to Priya. Tutu, when I was in Nigeria, most of my clients were financial services clients, banks specifically. So I worked with most of quite a number of CFOs of the banks. One thing that stood out for me was that they were male. It's a male-dominated environment, right? I know you guys have your banking CFOs meeting and all of that. And even within your organization, now, I don't know specifically, how diverse it is at the leadership level in terms of, at the board level, for example, or at exco meetings. As a female finance leader, how do you get your voice heard? And how do you ensure that your presence is noticed?
Okay, it looks like Priya is back. Should I pause
Yes,
for him?
I'll come back to Priya. Priya, I'll come back to you.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, okay. Thank you, Shay, and thanks to Priya that spoke before me as well. Yes, finance generally is predominantly a male-dominated area. In Nigeria today, I think the CFOs we have that are female were less than 10. And I just tried to, take it up. That's why I said less than 10. One thing that would always stand you out as a person or that has worked for me is the value you bring to the table. And Professor Keye, like the manager said, has really done justice to that. What is the value that you are given to yourself? What are the things that are the extra things because everyone would then be chartered when you're done. Everyone, when I started working in the company I was working for then, all of us, we finished with first class from school. And then we all started with doing our ACCA. So everybody was on a level playing ground. You then had to differentiate yourself. You don't want to be the first class person that is silly, but that does not know what the person is doing. So every time that value that you're adding to yourself as you're growing, what are you learning that is different from there has to be something that distinguishes you. It could be your interpersonal relationship skill. It could be how you work. It could be your attitude to work. Some people are extremely intelligent, but their attitude to work is zero. When you're thinking about allocating tax, those people don't come to your mind, no matter how brilliant they are. So those things, I just always pay attention when I'm given any tax to do, when growing in my career. I want to leave it with a touch of excellence. I want you to look at it. I want you to take whatever you have given to me to do and not have to redo it. So those were the things that I started to use to distinguish myself. Everything I do, I like to do it excellently, do it well. If I don't know what to do, and Jam, you can bear me witness. I remember when I also started my role as CFO, there was a topical conversation that we needed, perspective on. I just remember that I could call Jamu. I called Jamu, I discussed with him, we had a lengthy conversation, and then I went into the room to discuss that matter. It looked like I was speaking from, a very amazing perspective. That is interpersonal relationship skill, leveraging on people that have gone ahead of me. So I just try to ensure that there is an extra touch. And that will always stand you out. You want to open your mouth in a meeting, everybody knows that what you want to say is valuable. And everybody's looking to hear the perspective. You don't have to, it's not about talking too much or always wanting to talk. But the little that is coming out from you, everybody's like, wow, this is from a well thought out place, from a place that is deep, and everybody can see that you're a value added person. Another thing that you must be able to do is to raise up your hand. Someone said that if there are people that are qualified, if there's a job opening today and a female is qualified, the likelihood that there will be 4 or 5 males that are not exactly as qualified as that female, but they will be willing to raise their hands and say, I can do it. But we will like say, I don't know, what would they say? How would they say it? How will I do it? We just overanalyze and we paralyze ourselves in the process. One thing I learned to do through my career, I am never afraid to raise my hand. I raise my hand and say, yes, I can do it. Because, of course, the value that I can bring to the table always helps to also raise your hand. You know that what you know gives you confidence to talk. So never be afraid. That's one thing I try to do. I'm never afraid to raise my hands to do it. Another thing I try to do is I do it afraid. Let's even assume that I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. I just like, okay, what's the worst that could happen here? I get a no or something. Yes, I will have taken my time to prepare and all, but even if I'm afraid, I still come to the table with a level of confidence. Again, what I've discovered over time is even when you're afraid, when you start it, you don't know how that confident level just, comes up on what you're trying to do and you start to do it well. So confidence is very important. There's a way you package yourself. Everybody knows whether you're confident or they also can tell when you're timid. So as a woman in finance, you have to be confident because you are really competing with, the male forces. Again, the male forces are always willing to help. I had support when I started my CFO role. I had people, male, in fact, people that supported me the most at the male. They are always willing to help. So I just try to leverage. Yes, they are always willing to help. And then I just reach out and then I get to help. Networking, very important. There are people on this call who will be your biggest point of contact in the future. Never forget this role as a CFO. It was someone I had worked with at the early stage of my career who really did not even know how much I had grown in my career that referred me for this role. So what are you doing today that is leaving a mark in someone to be able to refer you in the future? And I'm talking about interpersonal skills right now, talking about soft skills. Are you cautious? Are you, so diligence and all that? Yes. Are you cautious? Are you earlier to meeting? I do keep to time, things like that. Person just remembered and said, oh, I'll refer this person. I think this person will be able to do this job, seeing that you're starting this new wave. So someone somewhere is looking at you today, and please leave a mark that they would always remember. Thank you.
You can't get it any better. Thank you so much, Tutu. I think I particularly like the first point. Keye told us the importance of personal brand and packaging. And then I think you pretty much supported that within the content. So you think of a Coca-Cola bottle, well branded and all of that, but what's also inside? So content in terms of the value you bring on board. Raise your hand. Very important. Confidence, do it afraid, networking. Thank you so much. It's a brilliant point there.
You're welcome.
And I think the audience too appreciate that. Yes. Priya, I think you're back now. Do you want to continue?
I am sorry. The
Yes.
network
Okay.
threw me out.
Yeah,
So
that's
basically,
fine.
as I was saying, the fact that the ACCA program exposes you to quite a lot. Think of subjects such as strategic business leader, the SBRO, audit, and all of that. It makes you a well-rounded individual. So I know that for my entity, whenever there is a new business idea, and especially now that we're expanding into other countries, to be honest with you, I'm always on the flight because everybody says, oh, I think Priye has what it takes to do the presentation. So ACC on its own gives you, that confidence boost. You are always confident that whatever comes out of your mouth, is something of quality. Because, there is also the CPD program that makes you to study every now and then. So is it AI? What is it about human existence that as a strategic accountant you're not aware of? I mean, nothing, because the ACCA takes you into every area. So for me, the fact that there's also that global recognition and then the ACCA qualification is credible is also something that excites one in being part of the ACCA family. Wherever you go to and then you say, "Oh, I'm ACCA qualified," somebody wants to listen to you,
Yeah.
because there's that general belief that, oh, this man obviously knows what he's saying. I mean, and then you think of, as Tutu has said, and Jamu, networking opportunities. I know that I've had reasons to be called upon by, other professionals from other countries, and it has led to business ideas. It has led to business growth, and that is something my organization appreciates, one's input, because the fact that you've done ACCA, it just transforms you. You become so strategic and so much of a key player when it comes to business growth, because your contributions are from a basis of analysis. You're very analytic. You have a broad mind. You have an understanding that is deep. So these are some of the ways that I would say the ACCA qualification has impacted upon my career. And very interestingly, I think that should be added, so it encourages every other person out there. It also has an impact on your earnings. So if I was earning a 50 naira earlier before my ACCA qualification, to be very honest with you, I now earn 100 naira. So I think I'll stop at that so that I don't choke you, Shay. Thank you.
You were nearly choking me because that is very important as well. Thank you so much, Priya. Lots of points there. I particularly like the points around, the diverse things you learn in ACCA that you can bring on board, discussions with your clients and business growth and all those areas. So thank you for sharing that. I'm very conscious of time. This is just so interesting to me that I am already going beyond the time allotted. So at this point, I will see if Etisong is back. Etisong, are you around from ACCA?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hi,
I'm here, Shay.
Etisong. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Okay, so I just wanted you to talk to us on some of the developments, you would like to share with our audience, related to ACCA Nigeria and also ACCA globally, and, developments that you think will be of importance to our audience.
Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for having me here. In the interest of time, we will just dive into it. So, some of the recent developments within ACCA global and locally is that um, with the changing of trends, there's an increased and enhanced focus on digital learning. And this is evident through introduction of things like our study hub. The practice platform, for example, has also gotten some additional features, which more or less simulate what the real exam environment is, and also provides detailed feedback for students. Additionally, sustainability is such a big thing globally, and I'm sure some of the panelists can attest to that. So ACCA has integrated, sustainability, ESG themes into the syllabus, and then students are able to, see this future across the courses, which also help, prepare students better for a future of finance and then business. And then there's a lot of emphasis currently now in strengthening a lot of our partnerships across government, across universities, employers. Um, Back home here, a lot of people who listen to the news, you can see a lot of strides in the public sector. For instance, you can see ACCA members now. The ACCA member, the current accountant general of the federation, is an ACCA member. Taiwo Yedele, who a lot of you know, is an ACCA member. More recently, the Director General of PENCOM is an ACCA member. And so a lot of strengthening of partnerships and, just increasing that recognition of ACCA. And then we're also making available affordable pathways for students on their way to partnerships, understanding what our economy is like. And so there are discounted pathways into the ACCA into the ACCA ecosystem. And also, we are leveraging on our relationships with employers, to create scholarship opportunities. And of course, there's also an increased focus on practical experience. So a lot of our resources now are about how our students can acquire the necessary experience that they require to be able to function well within organizations, and how we can grow our employer partnerships. I think someone mentioned something about the ethics and professional. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead,
Yes,
please.
yes, you can.
Oh, okay. And someone had mentioned earlier about the ethics and professional skills module. More recently, ACCA has made some updates into the EPSM with some new case studies and scenarios, which is emphasizing, on ethical decision making to be able to meet global business challenges, as we see them, around the world. And of course, as we talk about sustainability, as we talk about ESG, there's a strong commitment for technology skills. And this is something a lot of the speakers have been emphasizing today, commitment to technology skills. And so through the ACCA qualification and our CPD courses, there is integration of digital and data skills across board. So this prepares our students better for evolving roles in the digital economy. There are new jobs coming up. There are AI assisted jobs. More recently, we're seeing a lot of roles in fintech, right? And so we are integrating all these skills into the qualification. I also mentioned about a lot of collaboration with employers, and there's going to be very noticeable of those partnerships in Nigeria. We just signed an MOU with EY Singapore, which is going to cascade to Nigeria, and it's a lot about the support in sustainability. So, just by way of mentioning, ACCA has the flagship diploma in sustainability, which was launched towards the end of last year, and so in partnership with them, we are going to be rolling out, that sustainability diploma, both within and also to aspiring people who are interested in getting that, and so that we can increase more opportunities around internship and job opportunities. And then finally, um, there's an increased engagement within the educational institutions, especially the secondary school. More recently, in 2023, we launched what we call the secondary school finance competition. And what ACCA is aiming to do is, as early as possible, begin to introduce students to finance. And then what we are saying is, as we are talking about, technology, financial literacy is a core skill that people need to start developing. So it doesn't matter what you end up as, even if it's a doctor, you still need your basic financial skills. And if we look at some of the people within our ecosystem, and I speak specifically about Joseph Owolabi, who was the former ACCA head, global head. He actually came from a background of science before he did ACCA, right? So what we are trying to do with our SSFC secondary school finance competition is introducing our young people to finance, because the world is so integrated and diverse that it doesn't matter what your aspirations are, but you having those core skills as a finance person would really help you in the future. So in a nutshell, these are some of the things that ACCA is doing locally in Nigeria and then globally as well. Thank you.
Etisong, thank you very much. Very helpful points on study or practice platform, sustainability and ESG diploma that has been launched by ACCA. Obviously, I'm sure you guys know that that is an area that is rapidly evolving and becoming highly sought after. And partnerships, affordability schemes that have also been put in place by ACCA, and also the various certifications on technology and AI related or data analytics related areas. So thanks very much, Etisong. Now, at this point, I think I would like to ask my audience if you have any questions for any of the panel members. Could you please raise your hand? I will be able to take at least 2 questions, and then we will close the session and move on to other things we have for the open day. We're almost closing, and so I think we'll probably be on a faster pace now. Essien, go ahead, please.
Essien, please unmute and speak.
Okay.
Sorry, your network is not very clear. I can't hear you clearly. I think that should be the same for others. Is there any other question? Okay. So just to wrap up, I'll probably just throw one last question at Jamil. Okay, I think I see Wasiu. Wasiu, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, Shay. So what I would like to ask is, you can speak on the changes from September 2024. I think.
Sorry, bad network again. If you can type in the chat area, we will see it from there. Okay. So I will go through all the members of the panel, Jamil, Tutu, and then Priye. And I just have one question for you guys. And I want you to answer it in 30 seconds each. Okay. The question is, if you look back, what advice will you give your younger self? What advice would you say, oh, Jamil that is 21-year-old or 18 years old or 25 years old or 30 years old, because I know you guys are all more than that. What advice would you give your younger self? Jamil, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you, Shay. And I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 things I will quickly say. One is we've talked about interpersonal skills. I highlighted some of them when I was talking earlier, and Tutu touched on them as well. So in addition to the technical skills, paying attention to the interpersonal skills is very, very important. You will need that anywhere you go, anywhere you are working. And secondly, for those who are still writing exam, please, in addition to writing to pass, also understand, read to understand, read to know, read to really appreciate what you are doing. Because when you are asked about this, anywhere you are going, you will be able to demonstrate that you really understand what you've gone to learn, and that will put you above your peer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Tutu.
All right, thank you. Advice to my younger self, I would say that take calculated risk. I think it's risky not to take risk. Take calculated risk early, because sometimes, you can achieve a world of growth if you take calculated risk on time. I'd also say prioritize learning. wisdom would always set you apart. So always ensure that you prioritize learning on time and always do it afraid. Always do it afraid. Thank you. Those are things I'd
All
like
right.
to say.
Thank you, Tutu. Priye.
All right, for me, I'll take a cue from that young student who got his BSc and his ACCA at 19. So I think it's ideal to start early. I wouldn't say I started late, but I think in terms of the professional journey, I wish I had started earlier. I was so busy with my BSc. I wanted a good grade, first class. I needed an MBA and then a PhD. I just wanted to be apart. And to be honest, taking also some lessons from the the guest speaker, networking is key. In course of my studies, my first degree, my master's and PhD, I just felt I had to be an island. I stayed on my own. I isolated myself. I just wanted to be the best I could be. But then I realized that you could have all these good qualifications. And if you don't have, a network that would take you to the next level, then you'd be on your own. It's amazing to know that where I work today and I'm a director, the owner of the company used to be my student because I did lecture in the university at some point in my life. And it was basically after we connected that he also realized, I think you can come on board and do certain things for us. So the key points would be, don't isolate yourself. You might know it all, but if you don't relate with others, then your skills would not be known to others and you'll be on that island all by yourself. Thank you.
Great, great. And I must also apologize to Priye because I've been calling him Priye instead of Dr. Priye. So it's not easy to be a doctor. Now I see so many hands up. I'm just going to take one person. I hope the network works. Juliet, go ahead, please.
Okay, can you hear me? Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it's not really a question. I've been trying to use the chat box, but it's not working. Just to say something to Miss Adetutu. Okay, I wanted to private chat to you anyway. So sorry, can I chat you up after this call? I really need a mentor, please.
Okay, you got one.
It's fine.
Thank you. So how do I connect with you?
Okay, manager will share my contact with you.
All right, thank you very
So
much.
just reach out to manager or reach out to her on LinkedIn.
All right, thank you very much.
There's someone here with Kenneth. Okay, I think it's Kenneth. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I must commend these panelists. They actually did a very great work, and I've been glued to my phone since they started, and I've learned a lot. But going straight to the point, I want to know whether Ivy League itself have a way of mentoring young people that want to progress in a field of finance, so that they will have the opportunity to, as in, network among themselves, apart from the lectures and all, which we've been doing. So I want something like mentoring to guide the person towards a particular path. That's what I want to ask. Thank you.
Brilliant point. That is something that is actually in the offing. We've been doing it, but very informally, not structured. But we want to have something structured now. So you'll be hearing some announcements as we proceed during this session on that. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry I will not be able to take further questions for the panel members right now. Let's just do the last thing we have for today, and then we move to Q&A proper, where we can take as many questions as we're able to take. And what we want to talk about now is our learning journey at Ivy League. But before I do that, thank you very much, Jamil. Thank you very much, Tutu. Thank you very much, Priye. Thank you very much, Etisong. It's been an awesome moment. Lots of learning points. I've taken notes myself. I'm sure others have taken notes as well. So thank you for gracing this occasion for us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, all right. So just moving on with our presentation, can you kindly confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so do we have our students who want to share some testimonials here, manager?
We had them on the call. Nena, please confirm you're on the call. Please confirm you are still on the call, Nena. Okay, while we wait for Nena, Covenant, please confirm.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Nena, yes. We have Nena on the call, yeah.
Okay, Nena, nice
yes.
to have you here. And apologies, I know you might have been given a different time slot that was much earlier, but you know, the sessions took longer than expected, so I apologize for that. And then now
No,
was
it's fine.
the
This was also.
okay. All right. So
Sorry, you
overall
can go
top
ahead.
affiliate.
My network is.
Yes, okay. Overall top affiliates for ACCA June 2024 exams. So she's been through the journey end to end, and she came out tops in Nigeria. And we thought it would be helpful to hear from her in terms of how Ivy League was helpful in that process, and also more importantly, the key things that she did that worked for her to become the best. And you know whether she can share some of those views, and you guys can take one or more tips from that. So Nina, you have the floor.
Okay, good morning. Sorry, is it morning? Yes, it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nina Ndukwe. I am a proud affiliate of ACCA, and quite sincerely, I would say, I wasn't really expecting that I was going to be ranked as top affiliate in June 2024, because it was quite a hectic month for me. But anyway, we thank God. So basically, I will just share like my journey and then my insights on how I approached my studies and everything. So when I started this ACCA journey, the first thing I did was reach out to people that I know had either completed their own ACCA journey or were currently in the process of completing it. And then luckily for me, most of the people I reached out to were like, okay, you have to join a tutorial center. Because I did my ICANN first, and when I did my ICANN first, I did it. It was a self-study. I did it by myself, and somehow, by the grace of God, I passed. And then I was about to take that mindset into ACCA, and then my friends were like, "No, that it would be best for me to join a tuition center." And then most of them actually recommended Ivy League, and for that, I am quite thankful. So I started ACCA because I felt like I was like I can helped me, but I felt like ACCA was somehow going to broaden my perspective for my accounting career and like to equip me with the skills and knowledge I needed for accounting, finance, and beyond. I also chose it because of its global standards. Then, so first and foremost, I joined Ivy League, and then once you join Ivy League, I do plead, please try to join the live classes. Because when I started, I was doing recordings, and then people will ask questions in the recordings, and then I will have questions to ask, and I'll find that there's nobody I can ask these questions to because all I had was the recordings. So I decided to join the live classes. Is easier that way, so you can ask your questions and you can get your answers immediately, and then you can also participate in these classes because this will enable you, like what you are thinking there in that moment is just give you the chance to like explore on that instead of holding on to it when you're like having the recordings and you have no one to ask. Then also most of like I was working, and I know most people are working, so it's easier for you to develop like a clear study plan to know what time you have, what time you can allocate to like studying, quite sincerely, you might have to give up on sleep, but it's just for you to like reach that end goal. If you can do it, actually, you just have to like make sure you just give a time. You have to set a time that this is the time I will dedicate to studying. Also, you have to have materials. Luckily, Ivy League, they provide class study materials, they provide assignments, they provide the recordings, so you can go back to all this to learn and just like put it in your study materials. Also, they have the ACCA Study Hub. ACCA Study Hub really helps with covering the syllabus of what exactly it is you're supposed to know for the exams. Then also they have the exam kits. The exam kits are really important in the sense that they enable you practice questions. You have to practice a lot of questions. You have to practice a lot of past questions, because that's something that I did. You have to practice past questions, and as also as you're practicing the past questions, you have to make sure that. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You have to make sure that you practice your past questions, and while you are practicing them, you should try to like do it under, like, do a time management. Like you do it on that time, like you time yourself to make sure that when you get into the exam hall, you do not like start panicking because you are not finishing where you're supposed to finish and everything. Then also you also have to, like, for me, because the Ivy League, they have these group chats, so from there you can get like people that you can create a separate group to have like study groups where you keep each other accountable, where you study together, where you like present questions and get answers in the event where the tutors are not available, and all the rest of that. Then also, please, let's also try to read the technical articles. Those are also important. The technical articles, the examiners, what's it called again? The examiners, I've forgotten, the examiner's point of view, I
Examiners
think. I can.
reports.
Yes, thank you. The examiner's reports, you have to make sure you keep those in mind. And also, when the mock exams come out on the practice platform, uh you should try to also practice there, so that when you get to the exam hall, you don't get confused with how to use the CVE platform and all the rest of that. And then also for the exam hall, once you enter the exam hall, try to attempt every question. Like, that's very important. Even if you can get a, like, you can get a mark for just like writing some numbers and theory. And then I guess for me, one of the things I would say contributed to my success in the exam uh, was Ivy League, because they will give you assignments, they will answer your questions, and then the tutors are really incredible, because then they somehow help you understand the concepts in ACCA. They help you break it down so that you understand what exactly it is that you are trying to learn. So it's not just like sit down, this is how it goes. No, they're trying to break it down and explain to you. So also from there, I guess what I'm saying, you should try not to memorize or cram. SCA is not for memorizing or cramming. You have to understand like the concepts, because ACCA is testing your application of the knowledge. They're not testing your theory. They're not asking you define what this is. They're asking you to apply it to certain scenarios. So it's very important that you understand the concept as you are going into the exam and try not to cram. So I guess that would be
Okay.
from my this thing. But above all, uh try to commit your exams into the hands of God, because quite sincerely, it will be between you, him, and Ivy League. Yes, so that is all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nina. I can see you have a lot to say, and being the top affiliate was not by accident. So obviously, you guys can see that some level of diligence went into that process, right from the beginning of choosing a tuition center to emphasis on live classes, our emphasis on practice, our emphasis on study groups. She talked about examiners report and mock exams. She talked about attempting every question when you're in the exam hall, and also the importance of praying and committing it to God. So that's very, very important. Thank you so much, Inina. We appreciate you. And I can see you've started forgetting all those things like examiners report and articles. It's allowed. You're done. So you don't need it anymore, except for reference purpose anyway. All right. Covenant, are you around?
Yes, I am.
Yes, so Covenant, welcome. Covenant was also a prize winner. I can't remember the paper specifically, but she was one of the toppers for the paper in Nigeria as well. And we just also wanted to hear a view. Covenant, I'm so sorry. I would ask you to keep it within 2-3 minutes if you don't mind. You have the
Yes,
floor.
no problem. Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'd like to appreciate the Ivy League management for the opportunity to speak. Okay, so just like the other alumni or the other ladies said, I would not take so much time talking about my journey because I'm still in the process. I'm still a student. I wrapping up my stage 2. So yeah, just to add to what she said, I was a prize winner in PM 2024 June diet, and honestly, that was my second paper in the in stage 2. So I was not expecting it. I did not even know that ACCA did usually do something like that. So I would just advise people that are just starting ACCA journey to read, study hard, because it is not easy. If anybody tells you it's easy, that's definitely a lie. It is not easy. So you need to know how to prioritize your time, plan yourself very well, and it is very expensive. So nobody wants to go into exam hall and have to write it again. So you just have to know how to use your time wisely. Read and read to know. Don't just read to pass. Because, and also I'm a student. I'm currently in my final year in university. So you should know how to plan your time. So people might even be working. So just know what works for you best. Is it morning reading, night reading? Whatever one works for you best, just know how to plan your time wisely. Read to know. Don't just read to pass. Read to know. Just like Mr. Jamio said, because I've been on call since the session started. And also, you should leverage on the study hub. Study hub really works for me very, very well. Leverage on the study hub, and I am a person that usually uses Kaplan text. So since my stage 1 papers, I've always been using Kaplan text. You can use Kaplan, you can use BPP. Well, I'm so used to Kaplan. So leverage on the study hub, leverage on the study text, and practice more questions. And Ivy League tutors are there to tell you what to do and how to go about it, but they will not go to the exam hall with you. So they're there to guide you. And yeah, just like Mr. Kaya said, you should not expect your mentor to do everything for you. You are the one to put in the extra work, the extra efforts. And one thing about Ivy League tutors, even after the classes, you can always approach them, go into their DMs, ask them questions, and they are always there to answer, give you appropriate answers to every single questions you have. So yes, that's it. I think that's
Thank
all
you
I
very much. Thank you very much, Covenant. Very nice points there. I particularly like the points around taking ownership of your study journey yourself. Tutors are there to guide, they're there to teach you, but really majority of the hard work will come from you. And she has emphasized that if anybody says it's easy, it's probably a lie. It's not that easy. And you may have it easy in terms of your journey, but then there will be some sacrifices that will probably need to be made as part of the process. Covenant, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today. Oh, we still have one more person. Manager, do we, or can I move
we
on?
just have to, we have to move on, sir. Move on, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So at this point, I would like to talk about our blended learning approach. This is the final section of our open day, and then we move to questions that you may have. So what does our blended learning approach look like? And what does your journey at Ivy League actually look like? It's 3 steps. You register, you learn, and you revise, okay? So the registration means you register, pay for your lectures. The registration link to the registration forms can always be forwarded to you. It's all virtual. And the moment the admin team confirms that you have paid, they will profile you on our learning management system, which is actually Microsoft Teams, and also on the WhatsApp groups as well. So you will get your login details and all those things. To ensure you're able to join your classes and you're also able to access the materials. The next thing there will then be to familiarize yourself with the resources and tools. So there are different classrooms that have been created on Microsoft Teams. You would only be able to log into the classroom you have registered for. And in that classroom, your virtual classroom, we have all the materials that you will need for the session. They're already preloaded, from your lecture plan to the test questions. You remember Nina talked about the importance of test questions and assignments, to the questions we are going to do during the live classes, to any other resource that we consider necessary. It's important to familiarize yourself with this, and you also familiarize yourself with ACCA tools as well. We don't have an official study text that we give to students. The official study text we recommend is the ACCA Study Hub, and every registered student have access to the Study Hub, where ACCA has done a good job of giving you a text in that area. As you know, it's one thing to have the resources, it's another thing to be able to know how to apply it and how to also understand what these resources are saying. So that's the learning phase. Lectures at Ivy League uses what we call a blended approach. So that's a combination of pre-recorded lectures and live classes. So what we have currently is that all papers at Ivy League, all ACCA papers have already been pre-recorded. So you would have a lecture plan that have been divided into 6 steps, okay? Step 1, for example, will identify all the videos you should watch before your live class, okay? So your responsibility, and very important responsibility it is to watch those videos before your live class, okay? And then you come to the live class where you can ask tutors questions, and where tutors would also be able to solve exam standard questions related to that step of videos that you have watched. And then that cycle continues again. You watch the step 2 videos, you come for the live classes for question practice on that area. You don't have to also wait till live classes to ask your questions. We have the WhatsApp groups as well for each class, where you can also drop your questions, and tutors are also on the groups to respond to any queries that you may have or any questions that you may have. While live classes happen every other weekend, that is every 2 weekends, the weekend in between, which is not for a live class, is also a type of class where we play those pre-recorded lectures. Some people prefer to gather with other students and listen to those pre-recorded lectures. And a tutor would also be there for like an hour to answer any question that you may have as you watch or listen to those videos, okay? So take note, you can watch the pre-recorded videos at your pace, at least at a minimum in accordance with the lecture plan. You can watch ahead of the class. You can watch it as many times as you want. But at a minimum, if you don't have time during the week, which you should have time dedicated for watching your videos, you can join those sessions where other students would also be in the classroom and you are listening to the pre-recorded video. And towards the end, the tutor will be around to take any questions you have. But live classes, you cannot miss that one. A lot of things happen there. Then as well, you would also be assigned test questions, which you should attempt on your own and have evidence that you have attempted it. So your spreadsheet or your word process document responses must be with you. And then somewhere after March exams, weekday evening question clinic sessions will start. So these are classes that run from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., sometimes 7:30 to 9:30. They are optional. They are not mandatory classes. The mandatory classes are the weekend live classes. But these question clinics are additional efforts from Ivy League and the tutors to get students to understand the concept and to practice more questions. So those test questions that have been given to you, which you have attempted on your own, the tutor will bring them into the class and solve them so that you can compare your answer with what the tutor is doing, ask questions and see where you are making mistakes. So very value adding evening classes, question clinics, one per week for each paper. Okay, so if you are taking PM and say FM, for example, you may have 2 sessions during the week. When the time comes, that will be announced, okay? And then we have the revision phase. So standard lectures will be completed by mid-April, while intensive lectures will be completed by the end of next month, which is February 23rd, I think, for those who are writing March exams. So you're either joining the intensive class or you're joining the standard class. The intensive class is principally for those who have written the paper before, but you want to resit it, or you have attended standard lectures before, but you need a quick revision course to help you prepare for your March exams, or you've been doing detailed self-study, but you need something to complement that. We usually don't advise that you attend intensive classes if you have not done any of these 3 scenarios that I've created. But nevertheless, we still see some people who do that and still pass. It's just not the best practice. Okay. The third phase is the revision phase, which will start mid-April and end, end of May, ahead of the June exams. So revision comes in 3 classes, 3 live classes, full day, 3 full days, which are weekends. So some papers will finish their revision even 1 month before their exam. Some papers will finish 3 weeks before their exam. Some papers will finish 2 weeks before their exams. It depends on the timetable. So as you're paying for your standard class or you can also ensure that you register for revision as well, so that you have all that all-encompassing in your registration. Then we also have assessed mock exams. So as Inena mentioned, ACCA, periodically drops mock exams that students can attempt closer to the exam. So sometime around May, the mock exams will be dropped. You have 2 options. You can do the mock exam on your own and mark it on your own and watch the debrief videos that will be made available to you. Or you can ask that you want a feedback from our expert tutors. So that you would have to register for and submit based on the deadline agreed, and the tutors will review the mock and mark it. Mock exam increases your chances of passing by 25%. That is not by Ivy League. That is statistically proven by ACCA. So you want to ensure that you do mock exams, whether self-assessed or tutor-assessed, before you go into the exam or this is a sample lecture plan, so I'll just run you through it quickly. So for example, say standard lectures for this paper is starting 21st January. Just as an example, you have the first live class. The tutor takes you through an overview of the paper, tells you some of the things you need to know about the paper, introduces some topics, etc., and then gives you the question that you are supposed to practice, or practices question even during the first class, okay? And then the next is before the next live class, you would have all these videos that have already been allocated to you. The links to it are already in the classroom, the virtual classroom, which once you are profiled in, you have access to it. You have to watch all these videos, okay, ahead of the next live class. So during the next live class, 3 things will happen. The tutor will do a recap and take any questions that you may have. The tutor will practice past questions on that area, and the tutor will give you a quick introduction into the next videos that you are to watch. Okay, so that's basically what the live class entails. Always good to come prepared. And as I said, the weekend between, say, for example, I mean, these are not actual dates for 2025. The actual lecture plan is already in Teams. But the weekend between these 2 dates, the videos would also be played in the classroom. So you can also join the classes and, you know, just watch the videos if, for example, you didn't have time to watch it on your own. But you should always prioritize watching those videos on your own, because that helps you to concentrate more. What are the benefits of this? Obviously, flexibility, distractions that comes with live classes, you know. Sometimes with live classes, we are unable to teach everything we would love to teach, you know, because students may be asking questions. Some people may need to clarify certain things. And because those hours are sometimes just not enough. So that was why we took the extra step of recording all our videos, all our lectures on pre-recording it, so that that can be made available for you, and that gives you the additional flexibility. As a result of that, we're able to complete the syllabus early. You don't have to attend long 4-hour classes every weekend. No, live classes will now be every other weekend. So, and we've done that throughout 2024, and you know, the feedback has been awesome. Not only the feedback, but also the performance in terms of our students. Awesome. So assumed knowledge is reduced because the tutors are able to go into detail in those videos, and then you still get the benefit of live classes. But then your own commitment is also important, and your commitment will include: 1, watch your pre-recorded videos before the live classes. Very, very important. The tutor has no obligation to go back and explaining and teaching everything that is already in the pre-recorded video. They will come to the classroom with the assumption that you have watched your pre-recorded lectures before the live class. So it's not really beneficial to come to a live class and you've not watched the videos dedicated for that live class. Okay, so that's very, very important. You have 2 weeks to do that. We believe that's enough time. Attend the live classes and then make sure you do your test questions or assignments before the question clinics kick off, so that you can compare your answers with what the tutor is solving. Before we move straight to Q&A, I just want to emphasize that the whole ACCA process, and some of you already know this because you're already in our classes, you've already been taking lectures with Ivy League. But if you're just starting, it's a journey you have to commit to. Covenant said something that is very important. She said it's not cheap, right? The exchange rates are not funny. And you know, you want to ensure that you pass your papers on first attempt. And that will require a lot of commitment. And something I normally emphasize is the tutor can help you. The tutor can help you make concepts easier. The videos can help you understand things better. But practice is essential. You have to ensure that you do a lot of things yourself, get involved in live classes, ask questions. If something is not clear, put it on the WhatsApp group. The tutors will be happy to, you know, provide clarity. And also when it's time to give feedback, we have 2 types of feedbacks that we take generally. Feedback about the tutor and its teaching approach, and Ivy League's teaching approach generally, and feedback about the school. So when it's time for feedback as well, participate. We've redesigned our feedback forms so that the questions are precise, short, and you don't have to fill very long forms, as part of that process. So very concise set of questions about what are you happy about, what are you not happy about, and then we can take that on board and ensure that we continue to improve as you partner with us through your ACCA journey. We've been doing this for many years. As manager said during the opening session, some of the tutors, in fact, all of the tutors you have gone through ACCA exams, except for one paper that does not require that you go through ACCA exams, and that is corporate and business law. So we have dedicated lawyers taking that paper. But for all the other papers, we have tutors that have gone through the exams, but not just going through the exams, but also have many years of corporate experience that can complement what we do in the classroom. So think of Jamu teaching you SBR. Think of, Tutu teaching you financial management. As a CFO, she can bring in her experience, and she can also bring in the theoretical knowledge that you need to pass your exam. So please, you are in safe hands, and we hope that, as part of this journey, you will enjoy it and we will be of service to you. So it's that point where we can say we have officially ended the open day, but then we are moving to another part where we are able to take as many questions as you may have, right from the beginning of the presentation till now. Any question you have, please just raise your hand and we'll be happy to take it. We can, squeeze another 20 minutes to ensure that is done. But if you have to leave, we have officially ended, the open day, and we're just taking questions now. Okay. All right. Manager, do you want to coordinate this? If I have anything I would like to add to any response, I will be happy to do that. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Please let's keep the questions short and precise. So we will be taking about 3 questions, then we will respond to them. So Nkechi, please can you?
You mean 3 questions together, right?
Yes, sir.
3 questions together, we respond, and then we take the next 3, and then the next 3, and on and on. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All
so,
right.
Nkechi, please,
Good
thank you.
afternoon. Good afternoon, manager.
Good
Good afternoon, Shay. I appreciate Shay for the explanations given, because this is my first time of coming into ACCA, and I've really not been in the finance or in the accounting field, although I read accounting. I am an ACA, I'm a chartered accountant, but have not worked in any area of accounting. I work in a law enforcement agent, and all we do is investigation of cases, not really financing. And so when manager mentioned this issue of practical experience, I start asking myself, how do I go about this? So I would appreciate any direction that will be given that will be of help to me. Thank you.
All right. To rephrase your question, you work in a sector where you are not doing finance, and then after ACCA, how do you get the required 36-month experience to
Exactly.
to do your PR? Okay, that is well noted. It will be responded. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Ayokomi, please ask your question.
Okay. Good afternoon once again. Very insightful session. This is my first time of attending the open day. I'm not a first-time student. I've been with us since February or March last year, and it's been a very good time. So kudos to the team, kudos to all the panelists, kudos to the moderator. Okay, so my question, I asked one the last time, and that is the one on networking. Since most of our engagement are virtual, how do we give participants, candidates, the opportunity to network? I'm just getting to know that Tutu that taught me PM is now a CFO. I'm just getting to see the profile of Mr. Jamil. So these are opportunities that abound when we have face-to-face engagements, not which might be very, very difficult if it is just, if our program is restricted online. So I want to know what the management is doing to actually help us in that regard. That's my first question. The second question is on the OBU. How much is the program for the OBU? That wasn't stated in the presentation. And lastly, I plan to do business and corporate law. When I checked the timetable, I'm not sure I saw something like that. What's the plan for the business and corporate law? Thank you.
Thank you. So networking, what is Ivy League? Ivy League plan to ensure that Ivy League students can network, know each other, know the tutors, and the cost of OBU. All right, so that's also noted. Amaka, please unmute and ask your question.
I'm sorry. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My question is,
go ahead, please.
If I'm required to do only 4 courses, that's 3 courses, F7, 8, and 9, then the research. My question here is, will the degree grading be based only on these 4 courses? Can you start your research before you pass your papers, or you have to wait until you pass all your courses before you start the research? Thank you.
Okay, so that is well noted. You want to know if you can start your program, and your second question, you want to know if you can start your RAP before you finish your skill level paper or papers, or you have to finish your skill level papers before you submit for your RAP. Okay, and then also Ayomiku wanted to know the cost of OBU. I'll take the question of OBU together. There are 2 major things you'll be paying for when you're taking your OBU. 2 major is the mentor fee, and then mentorship fee, and also the submission fee. Because when you finish writing your project, you will be submitting to Oxford Brooks, and you'll be paying for that submission. The submission fee for, okay, the mentoring fee is actually 90,000 naira. Is a token compared to the value that you'll be getting from Ivy League. When you try other mentors, you could be paying as much as $500 or $1,000.
Manager, I am so sorry to cut in. Please, let us keep the answer straight, precise. We have so many questions, okay?
Okay.
Give the price. If anybody needs any additional details, your contact details are presented, okay? Just go straight. No need to repeat the question. Just give the answer straight away. If you need me to answer anyone, direct it to me. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much for that. Thanks so much. So £550 is what you pay for submission. 90,000 naira is what you pay for mentorship. Well, you can submit your RAP if you are writing your final paper in that level. But you can't submit if you have a lot of papers to write. So you must conclude or writing your final paper before you can submit your RAP. So we leave the other question. Okay, networking. Yeah, Mr. Sheyi mentioned that we are going to touch that area we have some things we're planning to improve on what we've been doing before regarding networking. For the PER, I think I'll leave that to Mr. Shei to answer the question of PER. If you don't have, you are not working in the finance department, how do you record your practice experience? So, Mr. Shei, please help with that.
Okay. And then on CBL, I think we have CBL on the timetable. So there's CBL
Yes,
on
the
timetable,
CBL
right?
is on the timetable. Yeah, so please reach out, Mr. Ayokomi. Let me point to you where that is.
Okay, great. And then on the question on OBU, if you are exempted from some papers, the papers that you are writing, so let's say you are writing FM, PM, and FR, and maybe one more, just those three. Those papers will be the ones that will be the basis for grading your degree classification, obviously in addition to your project and all of that. Regarding the question on networking, so this is a pretty difficult one, because I know where you're coming from, and I know the benefits that we used to have when we were running live classes prior to COVID. So prior to 2020, we were only running face-to-face classes, right, in our premises or at our premises. Post-COVID, we were doing blended, such that some papers were face-to-face, some virtual, and all of that. But we've transitioned to fully virtual because based on our survey, it definitely shows that that is what majority of the students prefer because of the flexibility and added benefits. But yeah, that then means that you lose the face-to-face touch and the connections that comes with it. The honest truth is you don't have to meet face-to-face before you can meet someone, right? There are different ways you can actually connect with people. One of the things we are doing, and we've been doing, and we will continue to do, is setting up study groups. What you want really is to have enhanced and increased conversations with people. So whether that is through a Teams call or through a phone call, and then you guys can agree to meet, right? But when you have a very large class of 100 people, you guys come to live class only, and you go and you come to live class only, you don't really get to connect that way. So that's why we often divide classes into study groups. But study groups are not run by tutors or Ivy League. Study groups are run by you guys, by the students. So we appoint a study group leader. We try to ensure that it's not more than 10 people in that study group. But the onus is on you guys to make it work for yourself. I think it was in now Covenant. I can't remember who talked about the importance of study groups when preparing for your ACCA exams. I found it very rewarding when I was studying for my ACCA. So when you connect with, that smaller group of people, you guys can, sometimes I've logged on middle of the night and I've seen some people having their, meetings within their study group. Obviously that's when exams were getting closer. But that's the joy of that. You get to meet other people and you guys get to build that connection from there. But beyond that as well, if you're talking about tutors and all of that, there's LinkedIn, there's WhatsApp. You all have our WhatsApp numbers by virtue of the WhatsApp group that we're all on. Is also the point is being able to reach out, and all of that. We don't currently have a medium face-to-face where we bring all students together and tutors together at this point. But we don't think that stops networking. And anytime we consider that that is necessary, maybe through an event, for example, we will definitely be announcing that. On the issue of switching to finance, the honest truth is if you want to be a member of ACCA, there are 3 E's, as manager highlighted. Pass the exams, so that's the first E, the exams. Complete your ethics and professional skills module, so the EPSM module, that's the second E. And then experience requirement, complete the experience requirement. So that's the third E. The experience requirements, as manager also mentioned earlier, is based on certain performance objectives that you have to certify that you have met for you to say that you are a member of ACCA, and you can use this for letters after your name. Now, for that to happen, you will need to at least have a role that is quite similar to what you have learned. So let me explain. There are some objectives you can sign off without working in a finance role. So the job you currently do, for example, you may be able to demonstrate leadership traits. And so the leadership objectives, you can sign that off. As long as you have a boss who is a member of, an IFAC recognized professional body. Communication skills. If you make presentations, you present, you lead a team management, those are objectives you can sign off. But then when it comes to the core finance roles, you will need to be in a role that is aligned with any of those areas. So whether it's tax, whether it's auditing, whether it's, financial management, whether it's financial reporting, you will need to have something in that area. And that's where you can either think of switching, to a company that gives you access to do some of those things, or you can think of other opportunities like working volunteering, in an organization to be able to demonstrate that you have achieved some of those objectives. That is a personal decision you would have to make in terms of how you want to navigate that, because it will really be difficult to demonstrate that you have met. And it could also be within your organization. Every organization will probably have a finance, a treasury function, or some sort of function that can allow you to sign off on some of these objectives. So I don't think that should be a problem on its own, but it's something you have to consciously consider. Okay. Manager, I think we can move to the next set of questions.
All right, thank you, sir. Anne, please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I really want to say a very big thank you for this opportunity. Okay, I just want to ask, though Mr. Shei explained partially what I wanted to find out. I'm new to Ivy Associates and also new to ACCA, though I have my ICANN. I wanted to ask about the live classes that he was talking about. Is it physical classes or for those that are attending via the online? Because I don't know if that's where their lectures are on. So I'm currently in Port Harcourt and I don't know if there's any Ivy office here in Port Harcourt. And then another one is to know if this open day record will be made available for someone like me who didn't join on time due to work for replays. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is very straightforward. All classes are online, so regardless of wherever you are in the world, you can always join our classes. We don't have face-to-face classes at this time, okay? And then to your second question, yes, the videos will be uploaded on our YouTube page later today, so you can check from tomorrow, and you will be able to listen to everything from the beginning. Next person.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So, Mommy.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you so much for this kind of open day talk. Thank you. So I want to confirm when the class for diploma in IFRS is starting, like the class, or when the lectures will be starting and the cost. That's what I want to confirm. Diploma in IFRS.
Hey, manager.
Thank you so much.
Okay, class starts on the 18th, one Saturdays, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and the fee is 70,000 naira. You can reach out to the admin. I'll drop my any of the numbers on the screen.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Next person. Who's the next person, manager? Manager, you don't need to mute yourself. Just let's unmute so that we can be as fast as possible, okay?
Mr. Tunde, please unmute and speak. We will stop with Mr. Jide Ibrahim. That will be the last person we've taken.
No, we have Ayokomi, except they have already asked their question.
Dave Ayokomi have asked, I will lower their hands. They've asked their question and has asked a question as well. So Tunde, go ahead.
All right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this session. It's quite insightful. All right. So my question is this: is there a course, right? Like maybe like a short course for ACCA for people who really don't have the time to go through, ACCA for like 3-4 years? Because I know there's a course online. There's this Coursera course that you can, that you can have for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks and you get a small certification. Because in 2023, I registered for ACCA classes with Ivy League, but I was very, very busy. I couldn't sit for the exam. Same with 2024, I attended tax classes for June session. I even registered for the exam, but I couldn't, write the exam. So I've been quite busy. So I wanted to ask, is there any short, maybe like a short program? I don't know, the question might sound very funny. Like a short program that one can attend and, get a small certification in accounting.
Okay, the answer to that, manager, you can please add. The answer to that is it depends, yeah. All ACCA qualifications gives you a certification at the end of each stage. So, for example, if you are writing the knowledge stage, at the end of the knowledge stage, there's a certificate or certificate you get. At the end of the skill stage, there's a diploma, I believe, you get. And then obviously, if you move to professionals, you just probably just want to finish it up, right? So within the ACCA qualification, there are various certifications and diplomas that you will get across as you complete each stage. And then they even have other certificates which you can check on their website, depending on your area of interest. But one thing I will like to mention, I don't know where that is coming from. Okay, so but one thing I would like to mention is, if you don't mind me saying, I think you will always be busy. And it may even get busy as long as you are praying that you get promotion, you get advancement, and all of that. It will always be quite busy.